In the far reaches of the Centauri system, nestled between the iridescent rings of the gas giant Orontes and the twin moons of Veldata, floated the prestigious Academy of Galactic Studies. It was an architectural marvel, a shimmering structure of crystalline towers and biolite gardens, where students from across the galaxy gathered to learn the intricacies of interspecies relations, advanced technology, and the enigmas of the cosmos. Among the many curious races represented, the Hralath, with their sleek bodies and telepathic abilities, and the tough-skinned Garokans, renowned for their brute strength, shared the halls with an unlikely group, the Synthetes, an artificial life form created from a fusion of organic and synthetic materials. Today, a particularly riveting seminar was about to unfold. The class topic: the Galactic Prohibition, Understanding Humanity's Banishment from Warfare. It was a subject that raised eyebrows and sparked whispers among students. After all, the notion of banning an entire species from participating in something as universal as war was as absurd as it was fascinating. As the students settled into their floating seats, the instructor, Professor Elara, a Hralath known for her vivid storytelling and engaging manner, materialized at the front of the auditorium. Her ethereal blue skin glimmered under the ambient lights, and her large, opalescent eyes scanned the audience, ensuring she had their full attention. Welcome, my dear students. Today, we shall delve into a topic both perplexing and crucial for understanding the complexities of intergalactic diplomacy. She paused, her voice a melodious echo. Humanity has been banned from participating in galactic warfare for millennia. But what could possibly justify such a radical exclusion? The murmurs of curiosity filled the room, with small tendrils of telepathic communication flowing among the Hralath students. A Garokan named Brulak leaned toward his friend Karis and whispered, "What do they even use as weapons? Their flimsy technology." Karis shrugged, his multicolored eyes widening with anticipation. "Whatever it is, I bet it's not as impressive as our Centauri blasters. I mean, come on, they have such strange customs." Elara smiled knowingly, sensing the student's skepticism. To truly grasp the reasoning behind humanity's banishment, we must first understand the unique nature of their warfare. She activated a holographic display, and an array of images flickered to life. The first was a depiction of Earth, a blue planet teeming with life, covered in lush greenery and vast oceans. This is Earth, home to humanity, a planet rich in biodiversity, but also one that has fostered conflict for centuries. As she narrated the history of human warfare, images of ancient battles and modern conflicts filled the room. The students watched in rapt attention as scenes unfolded, armies clashing on dusty fields, ships engaging in naval battles, and planes soaring through the skies. But, Elara continued, the most alarming aspect of human warfare is not just their technology or strategies. It is their unique approach to conflict. With a flick of her wrist, the hologram changed to display humans in various postures, shouting, grappling, and engaging in fierce hand-to-hand combat. The students gasped collectively as Elara expanded the imagery to reveal humans baring their teeth in aggressive displays. Humans, she said with a dramatic flair, have a rather peculiar trait: they use their teeth as weapons. A low murmur rippled through the audience. Brulak raised his hand, his voice booming. "Are you saying they bite each other? Like, with their mouths?" "Yes, precisely," Elara replied, suppressing a chuckle at the incredulity on the Garokan's face. "While they possess advanced weaponry, they also engage in physical confrontations that involve biting. This behavior is often seen in their most primal forms of conflict." "But why?" Karis asked, tilting his head in confusion. "Isn't that unhygienic?" "It's not just unhygienic, it's reckless," another student, a synthete named Xylo, interjected, his voice tinged with a mechanical whir. "They could easily spread disease or inflict fatal injuries without any advanced protection or sterilization protocols." "Exactly," Elara nodded enthusiastically. The human propensity to engage in such primitive behaviors during conflicts raised serious concerns within the Galactic Federation. Despite their technological advancements, Their disregard for health and safety during warfare led to a consensus that humanity posed a potential threat to other species. The hologram flickered again, this time showcasing a dramatic reenactment of a historical human skirmish, where two combatants wrestled, teeth bared and fists swinging. The students watched, a mixture of fascination and horror playing across their faces. Brulac leaned back in his seat, folding his arms. So, they're dangerous because they bite. What's next? Are we going to ban the Hralath because of our telepathy? Now, Ilara said with a raised hand. This isn't just about the biting. It's a representation of how humans handle aggression. They often resort to primal instincts, which can lead to chaotic and unpredictable outcomes in battle. The Galactic Council deemed that they lacked the necessary restraint to engage in warfare responsibly. But, Karis pressed, his curiosity piqued. Isn't it possible that they could change? Adapt their methods? That's an excellent point, Ilara acknowledged. However, despite numerous attempts at diplomacy and education, humanity has shown a stubborn resistance to reforming their methods. Their cultural heritage is deeply ingrained in conflict and confrontation, making it difficult for them to navigate the complexities of intergalactic relations. The holographic display transitioned once more, showcasing images of peace treaties, galactic summits, and successful diplomatic endeavors among other species. For instance, look at how the Garokans and Xanthari have maintained peace through mutual understanding and respect for each other's strengths and weaknesses. Brulac grinned, puffing out his chest. Of course, that's how it should be done. But humans, Ilara continued, they still cling to their ancient practices, making it nearly impossible for other species to trust them in matters of war. Xylo, the synthete, leaned forward, his synthetic eyes narrowing. So, what you're saying is that they're basically savages? Brulac interrupted with a laugh, only to receive a sharp glare from Karis. Not savages, but certainly unrefined in their approach, Ilara clarified. They lack the nuances of strategy that many other species have mastered, leading to hasty decisions and escalations. The concern is not just for their well-being, but for the potential consequences of their actions on a galactic scale. As Ilara spoke, the room was thick with contemplation. The students exchanged glances, each processing the information in their unique ways. The ban on humanity felt both absurd and justified a curious dichotomy that left them grappling with their perceptions of this enigmatic species. Suddenly, a commotion erupted from the back of the auditorium. A latecomer rushed in, panting heavily, their form shrouded in a vibrant cloak. It was Zara, a notorious prankster known for her playful antics and uncanny ability to lighten any atmosphere. "Did I miss the part where we discuss how humans use their teeth as weapons?" she exclaimed, a mischievous glint in her eye. "I mean, who knew they could be so toothy?" Laughter erupted among the students, the tension momentarily alleviated. Ilara chuckled softly, appreciating the humor in the situation. "Welcome, Zara. You certainly arrived just in time for the most absurd chapter of galactic history." Zara plopped down in her seat, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "So, what's the verdict? Should we send them an invitation to our next diplomatic soiree, or just keep them locked in their little blue bubble?" Ilara, still smiling, replied, "Well, the consensus is that humanity must demonstrate significant progress in conflict resolution before any invitation is extended. For now, they remain in their bubble, and we study them from afar." As the class continued, discussions erupted about the implications of humanity's actions, the absurdity of their warfare, and the potential for change. Ideas bounced around like energetic pulses, blending skepticism with intrigue, and the vibrant personalities of the students shone through the exploration of such an unusual topic. But beneath the laughter and banter lay a lingering question: could humanity ever be trusted again? Would they evolve beyond their primal tendencies, or would they remain forever banished from the annals of galactic history, condemned to be seen as the species that fought with their teeth? And so, as the discussions deepened and the holograms danced across the auditorium, the real journey had just begun. The inquiry into humanity's nature was far from over, and the students of the Academy of Galactic Studies were on the precipice of uncovering secrets that could change their understanding of life, war, and the very fabric of the galaxy itself. As the seminar concluded, a palpable excitement hung in the air. The students shuffled out of the auditorium, their minds buzzing with thoughts of humanity's peculiarities and the implications of their banishment from galactic warfare. Among them, Zara walked alongside Karis and Brulac, her vibrant cloak trailing behind her like a comet's tail. "Can you believe it? Biting as a weapon," Zara laughed, shaking her head. "I mean, are we in the middle of some kind of intergalactic comedy?" Karis smirked, adjusting his colorful headband. "If they had their way, they'd probably start dueling with their teeth on display. Imagine a duel where they have to show their best bite." "Now that's a spectacle I'd pay to see," Brulac boomed, clapping his hands together. "I can already envision the crowd roaring as they snap at each other like rabid beasts." Zara's laughter echoed through the corridor, but Karis felt a knot form in his stomach. While the absurdity of the situation provided ample material for jokes, he couldn't shake off a sense of unease. How could a species so advanced still cling to such primitive methods? As they exited the building, a soft mist descended upon the academy grounds, transforming the biolite flora into ethereal, glowing figures. The three friends decided to take a walk through the garden, hoping to clear their minds of the unsettling thoughts. "Let's go see the Hraleth garden," Karis suggested, gesturing toward a pathway lined with shimmering flowers that pulsed with the soft rhythm of telepathic energy. It might help to soothe the mind. The trio meandered through the garden, the flowers responding to their presence, their light petals opening wider as if to greet them. Zara reached out to touch a bloom, and it released a gentle glow, light her face. "Look at this one, it feels like it's alive," she exclaimed, beaming with wonder. Brulac chuckled. "Of course it's alive. Everything here is alive in some way. Unlike those toothy humans who just bite each other." Just then, a nearby commotion drew their attention. A cluster of students was gathered around a shimmering orb that floated above a patch of light grass. The orb flickered with energy, and curious students attempted to peer into its depths. "What's happening over there?" Karis asked, tilting his head. Zara grinned. "Let's check it out. Maybe it's a new form of communication or some kind of prank." As they approached, they could hear snippets of conversation. "Did you hear? It's a projection of a human colony," one student exclaimed. "No way! What are they doing? Biting each other?" another joked. The orb pulsed brightly, and suddenly a scene materialized within it, a bustling colony on Earth. Humans moved about in various activities. Some were engaging in sports, others were arguing animatedly, and a few were performing what appeared to be a bizarre dance that involved exaggerated facial expressions. "What is this?" Brulac pondered aloud, squinting at the orb. "Is this some sort of educational tool?" "I think it's a live feed," Karis suggested, stepping closer. The group murmured with excitement, the allure of witnessing humanity in their natural habitat proving irresistible. Just then, the image shifted, and the scene zoomed in on a gathering outside a rustic building. A group of humans was engaged in what appeared to be a festive celebration, laughter filling the air. Bright colors adorned the scene, and the humans wore expressions of joy and camaraderie. "See? They can be happy," Zara exclaimed, her eyes wide. "They look normal here." But as the festivities continued, a sudden scuffle broke out among a few participants. The joyful atmosphere shifted as they began shouting at one another, shoving, and of course biting. "Oh, there it is," Karis said, shaking his head in disbelief. Just when it was getting good. The students around the orb erupted in laughter, but the spectacle left a sour taste in Karis's mouth. This isn't just a game for them, it's a part of their culture. Brulac's expression turned serious. "It's not just the biting, it's how quickly they escalate to violence. Look at how easily they shift from joy to chaos." Just as the scene reached a fever pitch, the orb flickered and then blinked out entirely. A collective groan echoed from the audience of students, their curiosity snuffed out in an instant. What just happened? Zara asked, frowning. I think it lost its connection, Karis speculated. Perhaps it can only maintain a link for a limited time. Or maybe they're just too chaotic to keep it going, Brulac mused, his voice heavy with concern. Speaking of chaos, I wonder how our mentors feel about the whole situation, Zara said, her eyes narrowing with thought. What if we could learn more about these humans firsthand? Karis looked at her skeptically. You mean, like, visit Earth? That's a violation of several treaties. What if we encountered humans while they were, in attack mode? Zara waved a dismissive hand. Oh, come on. Think of the insights we could gather. The very essence of humanity, its cultures, traditions, and yes, even their strange warfare. It would be an unparalleled experience. Unparalleled danger, you mean, Karis countered. We'd be risking our safety just to satisfy your curiosity. Or perhaps we could bring back valuable information, Brulac interjected, his brow furrowed. If we can understand them better, maybe we can advocate for a re-evaluation of their banishment. Think about the potential for peace. Zara's eyes sparkled with mischief as she saw the gears turning in Karis's mind. What if we took a field trip, just a short visit? We could gather data and return before anyone even noticed. Karis opened his mouth to protest, but a part of him was intrigued. The prospect of encountering living humans was undeniably thrilling. Okay, he relented slowly, but we need a solid plan. We can't just waltz onto Earth without a strategy, and we must ensure we're safe. No biting, no chaos. The trio huddled together, their whispers growing more fervent as they plotted. Days passed, and their preparations turned into a clandestine mission. They gathered information from their mentors, scoured the Academy's archives for details about human culture, and devised a plan to travel to Earth. They even sought out forbidden knowledge about secret transport methods, relying on a network of sympathetic faculty members who supported their curiosity. Finally, the day arrived. Under the cover of twilight, they snuck into the Academy's restricted research wing, where a prototype teleportation device lay dormant. It was a cutting-edge technology, capable of bridging the vast distances between worlds. Are you sure this will work? Karis asked, nervously eyeing the device. Of course it will, Zara replied, confidence radiating from her. Well, probably. Just trust me. Brulac stepped forward, initiating the sequence on the control panel. Lights flickered to life, and the machine hummed with energy. The room buzzed with anticipation, and for a moment, time seemed to suspend. Just remember the plan. We teleport to an isolated location, observe for a while, and then return. We stick together no matter what happens, Karis reiterated, his heart pounding. Zara and Brulac nodded, determination etched on their faces. Let's do this, Zara declared. With a final press of a button, the device whirred to life, enveloping them in a blinding light. They felt the familiar sensation of being pulled through the fabric of space, twisting and turning until it abruptly ceased. The trio stumbled onto a grassy field, the air fragrant with wildflowers. They blinked against the brightness, adjusting to their new surroundings. The sounds of laughter and chatter floated through the air, distant yet enticing. Where are we? Karis asked, taking a deep breath. I think we made it to a park, Zara exclaimed, her eyes wide with wonder. The sprawling green expanse was dotted with trees and benches, and in the distance, a playground echoed with the sounds of children at play. It looks normal, Brulac observed, glancing around. As they cautiously stepped further into the park, a group of children ran past them, their laughter filling the air. A mother nearby pushed a stroller, and an elderly couple sat on a bench, sharing a quiet moment. Look at them, Karis whispered. They seem harmless. But just as he spoke, a sudden commotion erupted from a nearby group of teenagers. They were arguing passionately, their faces flushed with emotion. See? There it is, Zara said, her voice low. It's not even a minute in, and there's already a conflict. The argument escalated, and soon, shoving began. Karis watched in disbelief as one of the teens bit another on the shoulder in a fit of rage. "Oh no," Brulac gasped, taking a step back. "This is exactly what we were warned about." Zara shook her head, torn between fascination and horror. "We need to observe, though. This is part of the experience." As the chaos unfolded, Karis felt a tug of empathy. But what if someone gets... As Karis watched the conflict unfold, he felt a strange blend of anxiety and curiosity. The bickering teens, now entangled in a physical altercation, drew the attention of several nearby park-goers, some of whom stepped forward to intervene. "Should we do something?" Brulac asked, his voice low, glancing nervously between Karis and Zara. "What if they hurt each other?" "Not yet," Zara insisted, her eyes alight with intrigue. "This is what we came to observe. We need to see how they handle this. It's part of their culture, right?" Karis swallowed hard, torn between the instinct to help and the desire to gather knowledge. But what if it escalates further? We might end up in the middle of it. Just as he finished speaking, one of the teens, an athletic boy with dark hair, shoved another boy, causing him to stumble backward into a nearby tree. The impact was sudden, and Karis's heart raced. "Okay, this is getting out of hand," he declared, stepping forward. "We have to intervene." Brulac nodded, his expression shifting from fear to determination. "Right, let's go." The trio rushed toward the scuffle, weaving through the gathering crowd. Karis felt the eyes of the onlookers on them, curious about the newcomers. As they reached the group, Karis could see that the conflict had transformed into an all-out wrestling match. The boy who had been shoved was now grappling with his aggressor, their movements chaotic and aggressive. "Hey, stop!" Karis shouted, raising his hands in an attempt to defuse the situation. The teenagers paused, their eyes darting toward the strange trio that had entered their fray. For a moment, the world around them seemed to freeze, tension crackling in the air. "Who are you?" the dark-haired boy spat, breathing heavily, his expression shifting from anger to confusion. "We're just here to observe," Karis began, but he was cut off. "Observe? What do you mean, observe?" The other boy, a lanky figure with a scruffy beard, interjected, glaring at them. "You think you can just come in and judge us?" "No, that's not," Karis tried again, but Zara stepped forward, her tone calming. "Look, we're not here to judge. We just want to understand. This fight, it's a part of what we're studying," she explained, gesturing with her hands. "We want to learn about how humans handle conflict." The group stared at them in bewilderment. It was clear that the teenagers were more taken aback by their sudden appearance than by the unusual request. "What do you mean, studying?" one of the girls in the group asked, crossing her arms. "Are you like aliens or something?" Karis felt a surge of frustration, wanting to set the record straight, but unsure how. "Well, technically, yes. We are from another part of the galaxy," he admitted, glancing nervously at Zara and Brulac. "But we came here to learn about you. We heard about how humans handle conflicts, and we just wanted to see it for ourselves." The teenagers exchanged glances, the tension in the air slowly dissipating. "Are you serious?" the dark-haired boy asked, now visibly intrigued. "You traveled here to watch us fight." "Pretty much," Zara said with a laugh, trying to lighten the mood. "But we really want to know how you resolve these kinds of conflicts. Do you usually bite each other?" At this, the group erupted into laughter, the earlier hostility fading into amusement. The dark-haired boy rolled his eyes, grinning. "Yeah, we usually bite. Didn't you know that?" The girl next to him smirked. "We just use it for dramatic effect. It's not like anyone really gets hurt." "Well, usually." Karis felt a mix of relief and confusion wash over him. "So, you don't actually mean to harm each other?" The boy shrugged. "Not most of the time. We just get heated, you know? It's all part of being human." Brulac crossed his arms, taking it all in. "So you're saying it's just a way of expressing your emotions?" "Exactly," the girl chimed in. "Sometimes it feels better to let it out physically rather than just shouting at each other." Fascinating, Brulac said, nodding slowly. So, you don't think there are any consequences? Consequences? The dark-haired boy looked puzzled. Nah, not really. As long as you can shake hands afterward, it's all good. But what about injuries? Karis pressed, still concerned. What if someone gets hurt? It happens, but that's what ice packs are for, another teenager added, grinning mischievously. And sometimes it's worth it for the story. Zara couldn't help but laugh. So you guys just roll with it? You're like a walking reality show. As the group continued to chat, the park atmosphere shifted from tense confrontation to casual conversation. Karis, Zara, and Brulac found themselves drawn into a circle of laughter and playful banter, their initial fears fading as they learned more about this curious species. Okay, so tell us about your world, Zara asked eagerly, leaning in. What's it like to be human? Being human is a trip, the girl said, her eyes sparkling. We deal with everything from family drama to school pressure. It's chaotic, but there's beauty in it too, like friends, parties, and freedom. Freedom? Karis echoed, intrigued. What do you mean by that? The boy shrugged. We can basically do what we want most of the time. We work, we play, and we fight, but we also make up and live our lives. And biting? Zara asked, unable to resist. How does that fit in? The group chuckled again. It's just our way of letting off steam, the dark-haired boy explained. It's like a temporary release valve. You get angry, you bite a shoulder, then you laugh about it. No hard feelings. Karis felt a strange mixture of admiration and disbelief. So it's a part of your culture, then? Biting as a release? Exactly. We don't take it too seriously, and it's usually just in fun, the girl said. We have way more effective ways of dealing with problems like talking. But sometimes, you just need a physical outlet. Very interesting, Brulac mused, stroking his chin. So, this method of conflict resolution allows for emotional expression without permanent harm. Pretty much, the dark-haired boy replied, grinning. As long as everyone's cool afterward, it's all good. Karis found himself reflecting on the implications. Maybe there's something we can learn from this approach. It's different from how other species handle disputes. We often use negotiation or telepathic mediation. Yeah, but not every species has the same freedom we do, the girl added. Sometimes you need to let off steam, otherwise things just explode. As they conversed, Karis felt a growing sense of camaraderie. Despite their differences, there was an undeniable connection, a shared understanding that transcended species. He couldn't help but wonder if perhaps humans weren't as different as he had initially believed. So what happens when you can't resolve a conflict? Karis asked, genuinely curious. The atmosphere shifted slightly, the laughter dimming as the teens exchanged more serious glances. Well, that's when things can get messy, the girl admitted. Sometimes it escalates, and people get hurt for real. Like with weapons? Brulac pressed, the weight of concern evident in his tone. Not usually, but it can happen, the dark-haired boy replied, his smile fading. Some people take things too far. That's when we all lose sight of what's important. Karis exchanged glances with Zara and Brulac. It's interesting to see how this connects to what we learned at the academy, he said. Your conflicts seem both more primal and, in a way, more human. There's a vulnerability in it. The girl nodded. Exactly. We're not perfect, and we don't always handle things well. But at the end of the day, we learn and grow from our mistakes. Just then, the sound of laughter erupted nearby, pulling their attention back to the park. A group of children was playing tag, their joy infectious. The sight made Karis smile, reminding him that not all was conflict and chaos. See, that's part of being human too, the girl said, pointing toward the children. We love to play. It helps balance everything else out. Sounds like a complex but fascinating existence, Brulac noted. You have your conflicts and your joys, all woven together. Exactly, the dark-haired boy said, nodding vigorously. That's life for us. It's about finding balance and knowing when to let loose. Karis found himself lost in thought, the earlier tension of their arrival fading into a genuine connection. "So, what's your advice for us, as outsiders looking in?" "Don't be afraid to dive in," Zara exclaimed, her enthusiasm palpable. "We need to experience it, right?" The group laughed again, and the dark-haired boy shrugged. "If you want to understand us, just be real." Karis felt a surge of excitement as he took in the warmth of the atmosphere surrounding him. The tension of their earlier encounter had evaporated, replaced by a genuine curiosity and a burgeoning camaraderie with the humans. "Okay, then," the dark-haired boy said, leaning back against a nearby tree. "If you really want to understand us, you need to experience a day in our lives. Are you up for it?" Zara's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. "Absolutely. What do we need to do?" "First, we need to get you some real human experiences. Let's start with food," the girl suggested, her face lighting up at the prospect. "You have to try our snacks. Nothing beats a good human treat." "Snacks? Like the ones we saw in the colony?" Brulac inquired, rubbing his hands together in anticipation. "What kind?" "Don't worry, they're not made from teeth," the dark-haired boy joked, earning another round of laughter from the group. "Let's go to the food truck at the park. They have the best fries." "Fries?" Karis echoed, curious. "What are those?" "They're amazing," the girl exclaimed. "Just wait and see. But first, you'll need to blend in. Here, let me help you." With that, she led them to a nearby bench where she rummaged through her backpack. "You can't look too alien. You have to look human if you want to experience it fully." She pulled out some oversized hoodies and baseball caps, handing them out. Karis slipped on the hoodie, which was surprisingly comfortable. He noticed the fabric was soft and warm against his skin. The baseball cap fit snugly, obscuring his distinctive head markings, making him feel a bit more like he belonged. Zara followed suit, chuckling as she donned the cap backward. "This is going to be fun. Let's do it." Brulac, still a bit hesitant, adjusted his oversized hoodie, which looked comically large on him. "Are you sure this will work?" he asked, his voice tinged with doubt. "Trust me," the girl assured him, her eyes glinting with mischief. "Just act natural. Humans are great at pretending to be normal." As they made their way toward the food truck, the park was alive with vibrant activity. People strolled along the paths, laughter and conversation filling the air. Karis felt a sense of freedom as he walked among them, the weight of being an outsider lifting slightly. "I can't believe how many of you there are," Karis said, scanning the bustling park. "It's like an entire galaxy in one place." "Welcome to Earth," the dark-haired boy replied, grinning. "It's a pretty crowded planet, but that just means there's more fun to be had." When they arrived at the food truck, the intoxicating smell of fried food wafted toward them, making Karis's stomach rumble. The menu displayed an array of offerings, from burgers to tacos, but the bright, bold lettering proclaiming fries caught their attention. "2 orders of fries, please," the girl called out to the vendor, who flashed a friendly smile and nodded. She then turned to Karis and Brulac. "Get ready for the best experience of your life." Moments later, they were handed 2 steaming paper cones filled with golden brown fries. The girl quickly snatched one and handed it to Karis. Try it, try it." Karis took a fry and inspected it curiously. It was warm and crispy, with a tantalizing aroma. He hesitated, unsure of what to expect, then brought it to his mouth. As he took a bite, a rush of flavor exploded in his mouth, rich and satisfying. "Wow," he said, his eyes widening. "This is incredible." "Told you," the girl laughed, her excitement contagious. "Now, you've got to try it with ketchup." "What's ketchup?" Karis asked, puzzled. She reached into her backpack again, pulling out a small squeeze bottle. "You're in for a treat," she said, squeezing a line of the bright red condiment onto a fry. "Just dip it." Karis complied, dipping the fry into the ketchup. He took another bite and felt a wave of delight wash over him. "This is amazing. How do you even make these?" "It's simple," the girl replied. You take potatoes, cut them into strips, and fry them. Easy peasy. Potatoes? Brulac repeated, his interest piqued. Are they a type of plant? Exactly, you're catching on, she replied with a smile. They grow in the ground, and humans love them. We make all kinds of things from potatoes: fries, mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, you name it. Zara watched Karis with amusement as he devoured fry after fry, clearly enamored by the experience. You really are enjoying this, aren't you? It's surprisingly good, he admitted, smiling broadly. I can't believe this is just one part of human culture. There's so much more to discover. Just wait until you try a burger. The dark-haired boy chimed in, his eyes glinting with excitement. You'll think fries are just a warm-up. After finishing the fries, they wandered deeper into the park. Children played on swings, couples strolled hand in hand, and laughter echoed through the air. Karis felt a warmth in his chest, a sensation he had never expected to experience on this chaotic planet. Okay, what's next? Zara asked, bouncing on her feet. We've got fries, what else do you humans do for fun? Let's do some games, the girl suggested. We have a giant chess set nearby, and it's a blast. A giant chess set? Karis asked, intrigued. That sounds fascinating. As they approached the oversized chessboard, Karis's heart raced with anticipation. The pieces were as tall as they were, made of brightly painted wood and positioned on a massive checkerboard pattern. This is so creative, Karis exclaimed, staring at the pieces, which were carved into intricate shapes of kings, queens, and pawns. Wanna play? The dark-haired boy asked, a gleam in his eyes. We can teach you. Zara's eyes sparkled. Yes, let's do it. They quickly divided into teams, Karis and Zara against Brulac and the dark-haired boy. The game began, and Karis found himself captivated by the strategic maneuvering of the pieces. The challenge of predicting moves and countering strategies felt exhilarating, unlike anything he had ever done before. Your move, the girl called out, leaning in to watch. Karis looked down at the board, contemplating his next strategy. He moved a knight forward, earning cheers from Zara. Nice one, she exclaimed, clapping her hands together. Brulac narrowed his eyes, deep in thought. You're going to have to be careful. That knight is vulnerable now. As the game progressed, laughter and cheers filled the air, with each team becoming more engaged in the competition. Karis felt the tension of the earlier conflict fade into a shared sense of camaraderie. They were just friends, enjoying the simple pleasure of a game. Eventually, Karis and Zara triumphed, sending Brulac and the dark-haired boy into a mock sulk. Next time, we'll show you how it's done, Brulac vowed dramatically, crossing his arms with a feigned pout. Just wait until we add some bite to the game, the dark-haired boy retorted, eliciting laughter from everyone. As they finished the game, Karis felt a warm glow in his heart. This human experience filled with snacks, games, and laughter was enriching in ways he had never anticipated. Okay, so what's next on our adventure? Karis asked, looking around at his new friends. Next, we can go to the lake, the girl suggested. There are paddle boats we can rent, and we can have some fun out on the water. Paddle boats? Zara echoed. What are those? You'll see. Come on. The girl led the way, the group following her eagerly. As they approached the lake, Karis marveled at the glistening water reflecting the bright sky. Laughter floated on the breeze, mingling with the gentle lapping of the waves. Here we are, the girl exclaimed, pointing to a row of colorful paddle boats bobbing gently by the shore. Let's pick one. The boats were bright and cheerful, each painted in vivid colors, with paddle mechanisms on either side. Karis's excitement grew as they climbed into a boat together. Okay, who's going to paddle? The dark-haired boy asked, grinning at Karis and Zara. Let's see what this thing can do, Zara declared, taking the front seat. Karis and Brulac climbed in behind her, and with a gentle push, they set off into the lake. Zara eagerly began to paddle, while Karis followed suit, their laughter blending with the sounds of splashing water. "This is amazing," Karis shouted over the sound of the waves. "I feel so free." The girl grinned as she took the paddle from Brulac. "Just wait until we get to the middle." As they glided across the water, Karis felt as the paddleboat cut through the shimmering surface of the lake, Karis was enveloped by a sense of freedom he had never quite felt before. The water splashed against the sides of the boat, a melody that harmonized with the laughter of his new friends. Zara, with her infectious energy, propelled them forward with enthusiasm, while Brulac's laughter echoed in the background, mingling with the sound of chirping birds and distant chatter. "Look at us go," Zara exclaimed, her arms working in rhythm. "We're practically racing." Karis grinned, feeling a rush of adrenaline as he joined in, paddling furiously alongside her. The boat wobbled slightly, threatening to toss them into the water, but they laughed it off, reveling in the thrill of the moment. He could feel the sunlight warming his skin, and the sensation brought a strange comfort. This was an experience of connection both to his friends and to this vibrant planet. "Okay, let's see who can reach that floating platform first," the girl shouted from the front, pointing toward a small platform bobbing in the distance. "On 3. "Wait, what?" Brulac exclaimed, clearly taken by surprise. "No one mentioned a race." 3, the girl yelled, and before he could finish his protest, Zara and Karis dug their paddles into the water with fervor. They shot ahead, laughter spilling from their lips as the platform grew closer. Karis felt the wind in his hair, the spray of water on his face, and it was exhilarating. In that moment, he wasn't an outsider. He was simply part of the fun, part of this joyful chaos. As they reached the floating platform, Karis leaped out of the boat, feeling a rush of victory. "We made it first," he declared, raising his arms in triumph. Zara followed suit, her laughter bubbling over as she hopped onto the platform beside him. Brulac and the girl joined them moments later, slightly breathless but beaming with excitement. Okay, you win this round," Brulac conceded, playfully rolling his eyes. "But just you wait next time, I'll have a strategy." "What's a strategy?" Karis asked, genuinely curious. "It's like a plan to win," the girl explained, her eyes twinkling. "You think ahead about what moves to make. It's all part of the fun." Karis nodded, the idea swirling in his mind. "Interesting. So you mean to say that sometimes it's not just about speed, but also about tactics?" "Exactly," she replied, a smile brightening her face. "You're catching on." As they played on the platform, jumping and laughing, Karis marveled at the joy in the air. The weight of the galaxy, the responsibilities of his mission, all felt distant. Here, surrounded by new friends, he was free to experience life as it came. "All right, what's next?" Zara asked, glancing around the lake. "This is so much fun, but we need to do more." "How about we try to find some more snacks?" the girl suggested, her stomach growling in agreement. "I know a place nearby that has the best ice cream." "Ice cream?" Karis echoed, intrigued by the new term. "What is that?" "Oh, you're in for a treat," Zara exclaimed, her eyes wide. "It's a frozen dessert, and it's absolutely delicious." Karis could hardly contain his excitement. "Then let's go." They paddled back to the shore, each of them eager for the next adventure. As they stepped onto dry land, Karis felt a new surge of energy, as if the warmth of the sun and the joy of their experiences were fueling him. The group made their way to the ice cream stand, which was vibrant and colorful, with a long line of people eagerly awaiting their turn. The sweet aroma of sugary cones and creamy ice filled the air, tantalizing Karis's senses. "Okay, so you have to try the most popular flavors," the girl said, bouncing on her heels. "I recommend chocolate chip cookie dough and mint chocolate chip. They're out of this world." "Mint chocolate chip?" Karis repeated, his brow furrowing. "What is mint?" "Oh, you're going to love it," she promised. "It's a flavor derived from a plant, and it's super refreshing." As they reached the front of the line, Karis watched as the server scooped generous portions of ice cream into cones, the vibrant colors creating a visual feast. When it was their turn, Karis stepped forward, trying to emulate the others. "I'd like a chocolate chip cookie dough," he said hesitantly. The server raised an eyebrow but smiled, scooping out the ice cream and handing it over. "Great choice." Zara grabbed her cones eagerly, while Brulac watched curiously. "What flavor do you recommend for me?" he asked, looking at the options. "Try the cookies and cream. It's like a party in your mouth," the girl advised, and soon Brulac was happily holding a cone adorned with swirls of black and white. With their ice cream in hand, the group wandered over to a nearby picnic table, excitement buzzing between them. "Now, for the real test, how do you eat it?" Karis asked, examining the cone with a mix of apprehension and eagerness. "Just take a big bite," Zara encouraged, grinning from ear to ear. "Don't be shy." Karis raised the cone to his mouth, taking a large bite. The cold cream melted instantly against his tongue, and flavors exploded in a delightful dance of sweetness. "Oh wow," he gasped, his eyes widening in surprise. "This is incredible." "Right? Ice cream is the best," Zara laughed, relishing her own cone. "You're officially a human now." Brulac took a cautious bite of his cookies and cream, his eyes lighting up as he savored the flavors. "This is amazing. I can see why humans enjoy this." As they devoured their ice cream, the sun began to dip lower in the sky, casting a warm golden hue across the park. Karis felt a sense of contentment wash over him, a feeling of connection not just with his new friends, but also with this strange yet beautiful planet. "Do you always have days like this?" Karis asked, curiosity flickering in his eyes. "I mean, is it normal to just enjoy each other's company like this?" The girl nodded, her expression thoughtful. "Yeah, for the most part, humans are social creatures. We thrive on connections, experiences, and just having fun together. It helps us unwind from everything else." Zara chimed in. "It's a way to recharge. You know, life can be really tough sometimes, so we make sure to carve out time for joy." Karis considered this, reflecting on his own experiences. Life on his home planet had often been dictated by duty, by the expectations placed upon him as a representative of his people. This spontaneous joy felt foreign yet inviting. "Do you ever feel overwhelmed?" Karis asked, glancing at his friends. "Of course," the dark-haired boy said, leaning back in his chair. "Life can get chaotic, especially with school and family. But that's why we create moments like this to balance it all out." "It's like a reset," the girl added, her tone earnest. "You need to find time to laugh and enjoy life, even when things get tough." Karis nodded, absorbing their words. Perhaps there was wisdom in their simplicity. This understanding of balance intrigued him, and he couldn't help but wonder how it might apply to his own life back home. As they finished their ice cream, the sun continued its descent, and the park transformed into a canvas of twilight colors. Soft lights began to flicker on, light pathways and adding to the ambience. "Let's take a walk," Zara suggested, her energy infectious. "We can check out the art installation by the lake." Intrigued, the group set off, their conversation flowing easily as they strolled along the path. Karis felt a sense of belonging, something he hadn't experienced in a long time. Each step solidified their bond, and the laughter and stories they shared deepened their connection. When they reached the art installation, Karis was struck by the breathtaking sight. The area was adorned with whimsical sculptures made from recycled materials, bright colors, and abstract shapes that sparked imagination. "Wow, this is amazing," Karis breathed, stepping closer to examine the intricate designs. "How did they create this?" "Humans are super creative," the girl explained, gesturing to the pieces. "This installation was made by local artists, and they use things like old bottles, metal scraps, and wood. It's all about sustainability and finding beauty in what's often discarded." Karis marveled at the creativity on display. "You find art in everything, don't you?" "Definitely," Brulac chimed in, his eyes scanning the sculptures. "It's a way to express feelings and connect with others." Zara reached out to touch one of the sculptures, a swirling mass of colors. "Art can speak when words can't. It's like a universal language. As they wandered through the installation, Karis felt a surge of inspiration. This planet was rich with creativity, a reflection of its inhabitants' emotions, struggles, and joys. He could feel the energy of life pulsating through the artwork, a testament to the human spirit. As the group continued to explore the vibrant art installation, Karis found himself captivated not only by the pieces but also by the conversations flowing around him. The sculptures, with their bold colors and whimsical forms, were a perfect representation of the laughter and spontaneity that had marked his day. Each piece seemed to tell a story, whispering secrets of creativity and resilience that resonated with Karis's own yearning for connection. "What's your favorite piece?" Zara asked, turning to Karis with an expectant smile. Karis studied the sculptures around them, pondering the question. "I think I'm drawn to that one," he replied, pointing to a tall figure crafted from twisted metal and shards of glass. It shimmered under the twilight sky, reflecting the fading light in a kaleidoscope of colors. "It looks like it's reaching for the sky, as if it's aspiring to something greater." "That's a good choice," the girl said, nodding in agreement. "It symbolizes hope and ambition, which is something we all can relate to, right?" "I see," Karis said, intrigued. "So art can convey deeper meanings beyond what we see." "Absolutely," Brulac added, his voice earnest. "That's part of its beauty. It allows us to explore feelings and concepts that can be difficult to express." As they wandered from one sculpture to another, Karis felt a connection growing not just with his friends, but with the very essence of humanity. This celebration of creativity and expression felt foreign yet strangely familiar. His heart swelled with the realization that, despite their differences, there was a shared understanding among beings striving for connection and meaning. "Do you think you'll create art one day?" the girl asked, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. "It could be a way to express yourself, especially since you're learning so much about humans." Karis hesitated, the weight of her question settling on his shoulders. "I've never thought about it," he admitted. "My life has always been focused on duty and responsibility. Creating art feels personal. It requires vulnerability." "That's exactly what makes it powerful," Zara exclaimed, her enthusiasm infectious. "Art is about being true to yourself and sharing that with the world. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be real." Karis pondered her words. In his world, expressions of emotion were often viewed as weaknesses, and creativity was relegated to formalities. Here, among his friends, he felt the urge to break free from those constraints. Perhaps there was more to explore, more to express. As they continued through the installation, Karis felt a tug at his heart, a desire to capture this moment, to translate these experiences into something tangible. The thought stirred an excitement he hadn't felt before, a longing to create rather than merely observe. "Maybe I will try my hand at art," he said slowly, testing the words on his tongue. "It could be a way to share my journey, my experiences." Zara beamed at him. "That's the spirit. You should definitely give it a shot. We can all try creating something together." "Like a group project?" Brulac suggested, his eyes lighting up. "I'm in. I'd love to see what we can come up with." Karis smiled, feeling a sense of belonging swell within him. The idea of creating something collaboratively felt exhilarating, a way to fuse their unique perspectives into a shared expression. "What should we create?" the girl asked, her curiosity palpable. "We could make a mural, a sculpture, or even something abstract." "I've always been fascinated by murals," Karis mused. "They tell stories on a large scale and can capture entire experiences in one piece." "Perfect! We could find a wall somewhere and make it a collaborative art project," Zara suggested, her voice brimming with excitement. "We could represent each of our cultures." Karis felt a warmth spreading in his chest at the thought. "I'd love that," he said, his voice steady with conviction. "It could symbolize the merging of our worlds." As they wandered through the installation, brainstorming ideas and laughing together, the sun finally dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. The flickering lights around the park glimmered like stars, casting a magical glow over the scene. Let's sit for a moment, the girl suggested, leading them to a nearby bench. We can take it all in. They settled onto the bench, the warmth of the day giving way to the coolness of the evening air. Karis leaned back, taking a deep breath as he watched the reflections of the lights dance on the lake's surface. This day has been extraordinary, he said softly, glancing at his friends. Thank you for sharing it with me. I never imagined I could feel so alive. Life is all about experiences, Zara replied, her eyes shining. The more you embrace them, the richer your life becomes. Karis nodded, contemplating her words. He had always been focused on duty, on the responsibilities that came with being a representative of his people. But today had taught him the value of spontaneity, of embracing the unknown. What do you think about your mission now? Brulac asked, tilting his head. Do you still feel the same pressure? Karis took a moment to gather his thoughts. I do feel the weight of responsibility, but I also see the potential for connection. I think I can bring something back to my people that they've been missing: understanding, creativity, and the joy of simply being present. That's a great perspective, the girl said, smiling. Your mission doesn't have to be just about duty, it can be about building bridges too. Karis felt a sense of clarity washing over him. He had always seen his mission as a solitary endeavor, but now he realized it was a chance to forge connections and share experiences that could enrich both his culture and humanity. As they sat on the bench, the sounds of the park enveloping them, Karis felt a shift within himself, a desire to break free from the constraints of his past and embrace a future filled with possibility. Let's promise to stay connected, Zara suggested suddenly, her voice sincere. Even after today, we can share our journeys, our cultures, and learn from each other. Karis felt a swell of gratitude. I would like that very much. The four of them formed a circle, linking their hands together. To friendship, Zara declared, her voice ringing with conviction. To friendship, they echoed, laughter spilling forth as they sealed their promise. As the night wore on, the park transformed into a tapestry of twinkling lights and vibrant sounds. They ventured back into the heart of the park, where musicians played cheerful tunes, and families gathered around fire pits, sharing stories and roasting marshmallows. Let's go join them, the girl suggested, her eyes sparkling with excitement. It's a perfect way to end the night. They made their way to a fire pit, the warmth of the flames drawing them closer. The air was thick with the sweet scent of caramelizing sugar, and Karis watched in fascination as people toasted marshmallows, the gooey treats being sandwiched between crispy graham crackers and chocolate bars. What are those? Karis asked, pointing to the sticky concoctions. Those are s'mores, Zara exclaimed, her eyes lighting up. They're a classic human treat. You have to try one. As they gathered around the fire, laughter and stories flowed freely. Karis was entranced by the tales shared, the adventures, the mischief, and the heartfelt moments that made up the tapestry of human experience. Each story felt like a thread connecting him to these vibrant souls. All right, let's make some s'mores, the girl said, leading the way. Who wants to help? Karis eagerly raised his hand, intrigued by the process. Zara and Brulac joined in, the four of them working together to create their delicious treats. Karis carefully held a marshmallow over the flames, watching as it turned golden brown. Is it supposed to look like this? He asked, glancing at Zara, who was expertly toasting her own marshmallow. Perfect, you're getting the hang of it, she encouraged, guiding him through the process. Just don't let it catch fire. With their marshmallows toasted to perfection, they assembled their s'mores, the sticky mixture of chocolate, marshmallow, and graham crackers bringing smiles to their faces. Karis took a bite, and the explosion of flavors sent a wave of joy through him. This is incredible, he exclaimed, his mouth full. Why didn't you tell me about this earlier? Laughter erupted around the fire as they shared their s'mores, reveling in the sweetness of the moment. Karis felt a sense of belonging washing over him, a realization that he was part of something larger than himself. As the night deepened, Karis found himself reflecting on everything he had experienced. This journey, which had begun with uncertainty and fear, had transformed into an exploration of joy, creativity, and friendship. He understood now that his mission was not merely about his own world, but about bridging the gap between cultures, sharing experiences, and fostering understanding. "Thank you for showing me the beauty of humanity," Karis said, his voice earnest. "I've learned so much today." "Just wait until you see what else we have to offer," the girl replied, her smile radiant. "This is just the beginning." As the stars twinkled above them, Karis felt a renewed sense of purpose swelling. For Omini. As the flickering firelight danced against the darkening sky, Karis felt a deepening bond with his friends. The laughter, the stories, the shared treats, it all wove a tapestry of connection that he had never anticipated when he first arrived on this planet. It was a feeling that transcended words, a sense of belonging that filled the spaces in his heart he hadn't even known were empty. The fire crackled softly, casting a warm glow on their faces as they settled into a comfortable rhythm of conversation. Karis took a deep breath, savoring the sweet aroma of toasted marshmallows mingling with the crisp night air. "What's the best adventure you've ever had?" Brulac asked, leaning forward with curiosity. His eyes sparkled, and Karis could see the excitement bubbling beneath the surface. Zara grinned, her enthusiasm infectious. "Oh, I have a great one. Last summer, my friends and I decided to hike up the old mountain trail. It was tough, but when we reached the summit, the view was breathtaking. We could see the entire valley below, and we danced at the top to celebrate." "Danced?" Karis asked, intrigued. "What does that entail?" "It's like expressing joy through movement," Zara explained, her hands animatedly illustrating her words. "You just let loose, it feels freeing." Karis nodded, envisioning the scene, friends laughing, moving in sync with nature. He had witnessed similar celebrations among his people, but the concept of dancing as a form of expression fascinated him. "What about you, Brulac?" the girl prompted, her eyes shining. "What's your adventure?" Brulac chuckled, leaning back against the bench. "I'd say it was the time I accidentally signed up for a dance class. I thought it was a self-defense course." Laughter erupted around the fire, and Brulac continued, his tone animated. "So there I was, surrounded by a group of very talented dancers. They were leaping and spinning while I was just trying to remember which foot was left." "What happened?" Karis asked, his curiosity piqued. "I tripped over my own feet and ended up tumbling into the instructor," he said, shaking his head with a grin. "But instead of being upset, she just laughed and pulled me back up. It turned into an impromptu lesson on how to have fun while making mistakes." "Now that sounds like a valuable lesson," Karis remarked, his heart warming at the thought of Brulac's resilience. "Sometimes the most memorable moments come from our failures." "Exactly," Brulac said, nodding emphatically. "Life is all about embracing those moments and not taking yourself too seriously." Karis felt a sense of admiration for his friends and the way they embraced life's unpredictability. "You all seem to have such vivid stories," he mused, reflecting on his own journey. "I suppose I've been so focused on my mission that I haven't taken the time to create my own adventures." "Then it's time to start," the girl encouraged, her voice earnest. "You're here now. Make the most of it." As the fire crackled softly, Karis felt a flicker of determination ignite within him. Perhaps it was time to break free from the expectations he had placed on himself and embrace the unknown. "What about you?" he asked, turning the question back to the girl. "What's your most memorable adventure?" She smiled, her eyes distant, as if recalling a cherished memory. "It was when I went camping with my family by the coast. We built a fire on the beach, watched the sunset, and then made a wish on the stars. There was something magical about being so close to nature, feeling the waves crash against the shore while the world faded away." Karis listened intently, envisioning the scene. "That sounds beautiful. Nature has a way of grounding us, doesn't it?" "Absolutely," she agreed, her voice softening. "It reminds us of our place in the universe, how small we are yet how connected we can feel." The conversation flowed effortlessly, each story weaving a rich tapestry of experiences. Karis felt the warmth of friendship surrounding him, a palpable energy that surged through the night. The more they shared, the more he realized how different yet similar their lives were. As the fire's embers glowed softly, Karis took a deep breath, steeling himself to share his own story. "On my home planet, my life has always been about duty," he began, his voice steady yet reflective. "I was raised to serve my people, to represent our culture and uphold our traditions. I never had the chance to pursue my own dreams or explore adventures outside of what was expected of me." Silence enveloped them, and Karis could feel their eyes on him, encouraging him to continue. "I came here seeking understanding, hoping to learn from humanity and bring that knowledge back home. But I'm beginning to see that I've also found something I didn't expect: friendship, joy, and the possibility of embracing life in a different way." "That's a huge realization," Zara said softly, her eyes warm with empathy. "It's never too late to explore and create your own path." Karis nodded, feeling a sense of gratitude swell within him. "I want to learn from all of you. I want to experience life beyond duty, to create memories that resonate deep within my soul." "You will," the girl said firmly. "Just take it one step at a time. We're here to support you." The fire crackled, casting a warm glow around them as they settled into comfortable silence, each lost in their thoughts. Karis felt a wave of determination wash over him, a newfound sense of purpose igniting within him. He was ready to embrace this journey, to create a narrative that was uniquely his. After a few moments, Brulac broke the silence, a playful grin on his face. "All right, enough with the deep stuff. Who wants to try a marshmallow roast-off?" "What's that?" Karis asked, curiosity piqued. "It's simple. We each take a marshmallow and see who can roast it the best," Brulac explained, his enthusiasm infectious. "The catch: you have to tell a funny story while you roast it." Karis laughed, feeling the tension ease. "That sounds entertaining. I'm in." The group quickly gathered marshmallows, each of them preparing for the challenge. Karis held his marshmallow over the flames, feeling a rush of excitement. "I'll go first," he declared, his voice filled with determination. "Once, during my training back home, we had to navigate a forest filled with giant spiders." Gasps of mock horror echoed around the fire, and Karis couldn't help but smile at their reactions. "I was paired with a clumsy partner who was terrified of spiders. Every time we spotted one, he'd scream and run, dragging me along with him. In the chaos, we ended up in a sticky web, literally." The group erupted into laughter as Karis continued. "We spent the next hour trying to free ourselves while avoiding giant spiders. It was the most ridiculous yet terrifying experience of my life." Brulac couldn't contain his laughter. "I can't believe you got stuck in a spider web. That's classic." With each story shared, the laughter grew louder, the camaraderie deeper. They took turns roasting marshmallows, each participant weaving tales of mishaps and unexpected adventures. The night transformed into a celebration of life's imperfections, a reminder that even the most chaotic moments could be the ones that brought people closer together. As Karis toasted his marshmallow, he felt a newfound confidence emerging within him. This was a moment of connection, of shared experiences that transcended words. Each story, each laugh, and each roasted marshmallow added another layer to the bonds he was forming. The fire began to die down, the warmth now a gentle glow. Karis glanced around at his friends, their faces light by the embers. "Thank you for sharing your adventures with me," he said sincerely. "I've learned so much already, and I look forward to creating more memories together." Zara smiled warmly. "This is just the beginning, Karis. The world is full of possibilities, and we're here to explore them with you." As they gathered their things and prepared to leave the fire pit, Karis felt a deep sense of gratitude wash over him. The day had been more than he could have imagined, a celebration of friendship, laughter, and the beauty of shared experiences. Under the starlit sky, they made their way back to the park entrance, the air filled with the sounds of distant music and laughter. Karis felt the weight of the universe shifting, his heart full with the promise of new adventures ahead. "I can't wait for our mural project," he exclaimed, his excitement palpable. "Let's make it a true representation of our journeys." "Definitely," the girl agreed, her enthusiasm matching his. "It'll be a masterpiece." As they reached the park's edge, Karis glanced up at the stars, feeling a connection to the vastness of the universe. It was as if each star held a promise of hope, adventure, and the beauty of the unknown. With his friends by his side, Karis felt ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. This journey was not just about duty, it was about living fully, experiencing joy, and discovering the magic of connection. As they parted ways, Karis took a moment to reflect on the day, the laughter, the shared stories, and the warmth of the following days unfolded like vibrant brush strokes on a canvas, each one more colorful and alive than the last. Karis felt as though he was awakening from a long slumber, rediscovering the joy of existence through the eyes of his friends. The world around him buzzed with energy and potential, each encounter a chance to learn and grow. Zara, Brulak, and the girl whose name he learned was Alara became his guiding stars, light the path forward. They shared their daily lives with him, inviting him into their routines, their dreams, and their laughter. He found himself swept up in their adventures, eager to soak in every moment. One afternoon, as they gathered in a sun-drenched park to begin planning their mural project, Karis felt an electric sense of anticipation in the air. The sun filtered through the leaves, casting playful shadows on the grass. "All right, team," Zara exclaimed, her energy infectious as she spread out a large piece of paper on the ground. "Let's brainstorm our mural. We need to capture each of our stories and cultures." Elada sat cross-legged, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "I think we should include symbols that represent our homes. For me, it would be a wave to symbolize the ocean." Karis nodded, picturing the gentle ebb and flow of waves against a shore. "In my culture, the star symbolizes hope and guidance. It's a reminder of where we come from and where we're going." Brulak grinned. "And for me, I'd love to incorporate a mountain. It represents strength and resilience, and I have some epic hiking stories to go along with it." "Perfect. We already have a solid foundation," Zara said, her enthusiasm palpable. "Let's sketch out our ideas." Karis felt a thrill of creativity coursing through him as they began to draw. Each stroke of the pencil was an expression of their individuality, yet together they wove a tapestry of their shared experiences. Karis realized that the mural would become more than just a piece of art. It would embody their friendship, their journeys, and the connections they forged. As they sketched, stories flowed like paint from their brushes. They shared memories tied to their symbols. Alara spoke of family trips to the beach, where laughter mingled with the sound of crashing waves. Karis recalled nights spent stargazing on his home planet, the constellations whispering ancient tales. Brulak recounted climbing his first mountain, the rush of triumph surging through him as he reached the summit. Through laughter and camaraderie, they painted their dreams onto the page. Karis felt a sense of liberation, a realization that art was not just for the skilled. It was for everyone, a means of self-expression that knew no bounds. As the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over their sketches, Karis looked around at his friends. "What if we add a sun at the top of the mural? It could symbolize new beginnings and the warmth of friendship." "That's a great idea," Zara exclaimed, her eyes lighting up. "It'll tie everything together and represent the bright future ahead of us." With renewed energy, they continued to refine their design. As they worked, Karis felt a surge of gratitude for this moment, this connection. It was a reminder of the beauty of collaboration, of how individual stories could blend into something magnificent. After several hours of sketching and laughing, they finally stepped back to admire their work. The paper was filled with vibrant drawings, each element representing a piece of their hearts. "This is going to be amazing," Alara said, her voice filled with wonder. "I can't wait to see it come to life." "Me too," Karis agreed, his heart swelling with excitement. "Let's find a wall to paint it on." The following days were filled with preparations for their mural. They scouted locations around the city, looking for the perfect wall, a blank canvas waiting for their creativity to spill forth. Each site they visited brought a new wave of inspiration, and they settled on a vibrant community space filled with energy and life. "This is it," Brulac declared, gesturing to a large, unpainted wall covered in textures of weathered bricks and concrete. "It's like it was meant for us." Karis ran his fingers over the surface, feeling the rough texture beneath his fingertips. "It has character. I love it." As they gathered their supplies, paints, brushes, and ladders, Karis felt a rush of excitement. This was more than just a mural. It was an expression of their collective identity, a celebration of their friendship. On the first day of painting, the sun beamed down warmly, a perfect day for creativity. Karis, Zara, Brulac, and Alara gathered in front of the wall, their hearts racing with anticipation. "All right, everyone, let's make this happen," Zara cheered, her voice echoing with enthusiasm. "Who's ready to paint?" With a sense of purpose, they divided the work, each taking charge of their respective symbols. Karis carefully painted the star, its points reaching out like fingers toward the sky. He poured his heart into every stroke, infusing the symbol with the hope he felt in this new journey. Alara worked diligently on the waves, her brush gliding smoothly across the surface, creating fluid lines that captured the ocean's rhythm. Brulac's mountain rose majestically from the bottom, a testament to strength and perseverance. Zara painted the sun above them all, its rays stretching outward, encompassing everything in warmth and light. As they painted, they shared stories of their lives, their laughter echoing in the warm air. They spoke of dreams yet to be fulfilled, of adventures still waiting to unfold. Each brushstroke felt like a connection, an affirmation of their shared experiences. "You know, Karis," Alara said, pausing to admire the star taking shape on the wall, "this mural is a reflection of our journeys. It's beautiful to see how our different backgrounds come together." Karis nodded, his heart swelling with gratitude. "It feels like we're creating something that will last, a reminder of our friendship and the adventures we've had together." On the second day of painting, they welcomed friends from the community who joined in, contributing their own creativity to the mural. The wall became a living tapestry of colors, patterns, and symbols, each stroke a testament to unity, diversity, and the beauty of collaboration. As the days passed, Karis found himself lost in the rhythm of painting, the act becoming a meditation. The sun rose and set, each day adding layers to their mural and to their friendships. He felt the constraints of his past begin to loosen, replaced by a sense of freedom and purpose. One evening, as they stood back to admire their progress, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the mural. It was a breathtaking sight, vibrant colors blending together, creating a mosaic that spoke of hope and connection. "I can't believe we created this," Brulac exclaimed, his voice filled with awe. "It's incredible." Alara's eyes glistened with emotion. "This mural represents all of us, the stories we've shared and the friendships we've forged. It's a piece of our hearts." Karis felt a wave of warmth wash over him. "I've never experienced anything like this before. It's more than just art. It's a manifestation of who we are." The following week, they dedicated their mural, inviting friends, family, and community members to celebrate the culmination of their work. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement, the air filled with laughter and chatter as people gathered around the vibrant wall. Zara stood before the crowd, her voice carrying over the chatter. "Thank you all for joining us today. This mural is a celebration of our journeys, our cultures, and the friendships we've created together. We hope it inspires you as much as it has inspired us." Karis watched as people admired their work, smiles lighting up their faces. The mural radiated joy, each symbol telling a story that transcended language and culture. As the sun set, casting a warm golden light over the gathering, Karis felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him. This was the essence of life, the connections made, the stories shared, and the beauty of collaboration. Later that evening, as the festivities began to wind down, Karis found himself standing before the mural, lost in thought. The colors shimmered under the night sky, the stars twinkling above as if echoing the sentiments of the wall. "Hey, Karis," Brulac called, joining him. "You okay?" Karis turned, a smile spreading across his face. I was just reflecting on how far I've come. This mural is more than just paint. It's a testament to everything I've learned here." Brulac nodded, his expression serious. "You've changed a lot since we first met. You've embraced life in a way I can't even imagine. It's inspiring." "Thank you," Karis replied, feeling a swell of appreciation for his friend. "I couldn't have done it without all of you. You've shown me that life is meant to be lived fully, with joy and laughter." As they stood together, gazing at their mural, Karis felt a renewed sense of purpose stirring within him. This was just the beginning of his journey. He was ready to embrace every moment, to seek out new adventures, and to deepen the connections he had made. As the stars twinkled above, Karis made a silent promise to himself to continue exploring, learning. As the vibrant colors of their mural glowed softly under the night sky, Karis felt a sense of transformation enveloping him. The celebrations from the dedication had infused the community with warmth and joy, leaving behind echoes of laughter that danced in the air. Yet beneath the surface of this newfound happiness, a question lingered in his mind: what lay ahead for him now? The following days were a whirlwind of activity. Karis, Zara, Brulac, and Alara spent their afternoons volunteering at community events, painting murals in local schools, and engaging with residents. Each encounter was filled with laughter and the exchange of stories, deepening the bonds that had formed among them. Despite the joy surrounding him, Karis couldn't shake the feeling that something significant was shifting within him. The freedom he had found in creativity was intoxicating, but he sensed a growing need to connect with his roots, to reconcile the weight of his responsibilities back home with the exhilarating freedom he was experiencing here. One afternoon, as the sun cast long shadows across the park, Karis found himself sitting on a bench, watching families gather for a picnic. Laughter rang out as children chased each other, their joy infectious. Zara approached, noticing his pensive expression. "Karis, everything okay?" she asked, settling beside him. He took a deep breath, searching for the right words. "I've been thinking a lot about my purpose," he admitted. "Back home, I was always focused on duty, on serving my people. Here, I feel liberated, but I worry about what that means for my future." Zara nodded thoughtfully. "It's normal to feel that way, especially when you're experiencing something so different. You're discovering who you are outside of expectations." "I know," Karis replied, feeling a weight lift slightly from his shoulders. "But I can't help but think about my responsibilities. I was sent here to learn and bring knowledge back. If I lose sight of that, will I lose myself?" "Maybe it's not about losing yourself," Zara said softly. "Maybe it's about integrating all these experiences into who you already are. Your journey doesn't have to be a conflict between duty and freedom. It can be both." Karis considered her words, feeling a flicker of hope. "You're right. I can learn from this experience and still honor my responsibilities." Zara smiled, her eyes twinkling. "Exactly. And you're not alone in this. We're here to support you, no matter what you decide." As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow across the park, Karis felt a renewed sense of purpose. He wanted to embrace the lessons he was learning, while also honoring the duty he held dear. In the following weeks, Karis immersed himself in both worlds. He joined his friends in their creative pursuits, exploring various art forms while also dedicating time to study the cultural practices of his home planet. The duality felt natural, and he found joy in weaving his heritage into his newfound experiences. One day, while working on a new mural in a community center, Karis decided to share aspects of his culture with Zara, Brulac, and Alara. He brought traditional art supplies from his home planet, excited to blend their styles. "All right, everyone," Karis called, gathering their attention. "I thought it would be fun to create a piece that showcases the fusion of our cultures." Alara tilted her head, intrigued. "What do you have in mind?" Karis displayed the supplies, a collection of vibrant inks and brushes made from natural materials. "These are inspired by my homeland. Each color represents an emotion, a memory, or a story. I thought we could incorporate these into our mural, blending our styles with my heritage." Brulak's eyes widened. That sounds awesome. I love the idea of mixing our cultures. With eager hands, they began to experiment, creating swirls of color that danced across the canvas. Karis guided them, sharing the meanings behind each color while they infused their personal styles. As they painted, laughter echoed and stories flowed effortlessly. This red symbolizes passion, Karis explained, carefully mixing the color with water. It represents the fire within us, the drive to pursue our dreams. Zara mixed the red with her vibrant yellow, creating an orange hue. And this is the enthusiasm we bring to everything we do, she added with a grin. Karis felt a sense of belonging wash over him as they worked together, each stroke representing not just their individual stories, but also their collective journey. The mural slowly transformed into a stunning representation of their cultures, filled with symbols and colors that reflected the essence of who they were. As they stepped back to admire their work, Karis felt a swell of pride. The mural was not just a fusion of styles, it was a testament to the beauty of collaboration, an embodiment of friendship that transcended boundaries. "I can't believe how well this turned out," Ilara exclaimed, her eyes shining. "It's incredible." Karis nodded, a warm smile on his face. "This is just the beginning. I want to continue exploring and blending our cultures." The following weeks were filled with creativity and connection as they painted more murals throughout the city. Karis felt invigorated, each project deepening his bond with his friends while allowing him to express the richness of his heritage. Yet amid the joy, he sensed a growing restlessness within him. He knew he couldn't stay in this creative bubble forever. The responsibilities awaiting him back home were calling. As the days passed, the urgency to return began to weigh heavily on his heart. One evening, after a particularly fulfilling day of painting, Karis sat alone at the edge of a nearby lake, the moon casting shimmering reflections across the water's surface. He pulled out his communicator, a device that connected him to his home planet, contemplating the message he wanted to send. With steady fingers, he began typing, pouring his thoughts into a heartfelt message. He expressed his gratitude for the journey he had undertaken, sharing the experiences and friendships he had cultivated. But he also acknowledged the growing sense of responsibility he felt, the longing to return and bring his newfound knowledge back to his people. As he finished the message, he hesitated for a moment, contemplating the weight of his words. Would his elders understand? Would they support his desire to embrace the lessons he had learned? He pressed send, feeling a mixture of anxiety and relief wash over him. Whatever the response, he knew he had to honor his heart. The next day, Karis joined Zara, Brulak, and Ilara for their usual mural project, but his mind was elsewhere. The vibrant energy of the day felt different as he distractedly painted, his thoughts clouded by uncertainty. "Ilara, can you pass me that blue?" he asked absently, his gaze fixed on the mural before him. "Sure thing," she replied, her voice cheerful. "What's up with you today? You seem a bit distant." Karis paused, looking at his friends. "I sent a message back home last night. I'm not sure how they'll react." Zara raised an eyebrow, setting her brush down. "What do you mean? Are you worried about their response?" He nodded, sighing. "I've been feeling the pull of my responsibilities, and I want to honor that. But I also don't want to lose what I've found here." Brulak placed a reassuring hand on Karis's shoulder. "It's a tough balance, but you've grown so much, you'll know how to navigate it." The group fell silent for a moment, each lost in their thoughts. Karis felt a warmth wash over him. This was what friendship was about, standing together in moments of uncertainty. Just then, Karis's communicator chimed, breaking the tension. His heart raced as he glanced at the screen, seeing a message from his home planet. He opened it, reading the words carefully. The elders expressed their pride in his journey, acknowledging the growth he had shown. They encouraged him to embrace the lessons he had learned and to return with new insights that could benefit his people. A sense of relief washed over him. They understood. "They're supportive," he said, unable to suppress a smile. "They want me to bring back everything I've learned." Zara beamed, her eyes shining. "That's amazing. You can take the best of both worlds." Feeling a renewed sense of purpose, Karis dove back into painting, the strokes of color invigorated by the knowledge that he could honor both his past and his present. As the day turned into evening, the mural began to take shape, an explosion of colors reflecting their journey, their cultures, and the bond they had forged. Karis felt a sense of clarity, knowing that he could embrace the future without sacrificing his roots. That night, as they gathered for dinner, Karis shared his plans to return home soon. "I want to take what I've learned here back with me," he said, looking around at his friends. "You all have shown me the beauty of life beyond duty." Brulac raised his glass, a wide grin on his face. "To new beginnings, and to Karis, who's found a way to balance it all." Alara's eyes glimmered with warmth. "You'll always have a home here, Karis. We'll be waiting for your next adventure." Karis felt his heart swell with gratitude. This was the essence of life: friendship, laughter, and the knowledge that journeys are not meant to be traveled alone. As the night unfolded, filled with laughter and shared stories, Karis realized that the days slipped by in a blur of colors and laughter, each moment more precious than the last. Karis felt himself at a crossroads, torn between the vibrant new life he had forged and the responsibilities that awaited him back home. As the date of his departure approached, a bittersweet tension settled over him, coloring every interaction with his friends. They had continued their mural projects, each brushstroke embodying the growth and friendship they had nurtured together. The community had embraced their art, and Karis was proud of the mark they had left. Yet, with every laugh shared and every story told, the weight of leaving pressed heavier on his heart. One afternoon, as they painted at a local community center, Zara noticed his distant gaze. "Karis," she called, pausing her work, "you've been quiet today. Are you okay?" Karis set down his brush, taking a deep breath. "I've just been thinking about leaving. It's harder than I expected." Brulac, who was mixing paint nearby, looked over. "I can imagine. You've built a life here. But remember, this isn't the end. It's just a new chapter." "I know," Karis replied, a hint of uncertainty in his voice. "But I'll miss all of this painting together, sharing stories, feeling free. It's hard to let go." Alara approached, her expression softening. "We'll always be here for you, Karis. And you'll carry us with you, wherever you go." As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting golden rays over their mural, Karis felt a swell of emotion. "You're right. I'll take all of this with me. The lessons, the laughter, everything." The conversation lingered in the air as they resumed painting, each stroke a reminder of their connection. As the sun set, the mural shimmered with life, a colorful testament to their friendship and experiences. In the following days, Karis busied himself with preparations for his departure. He packed carefully, wanting to take pieces of his time here with him. The vibrant inks and brushes from their projects, small tokens from his friends, and even the sketches they had made together found their way into his belongings. On the eve of his departure, Karis organized a farewell gathering at the park where they had first begun their mural. He wanted to celebrate the friendships he had formed and the memories they had created together. As twilight settled in, friends from the community began to arrive, filling the air with laughter and warmth. The atmosphere was electric, a blend of joy and melancholy that tugged at Karis's heart. He stood before a makeshift stage, his friends gathered around him, their faces glowing in the soft light of lanterns. "Thank you all for coming tonight," Karis began, his voice steady despite the wave of emotions crashing over him. "This journey has changed my life in ways I could never have imagined. You welcomed me with open arms and showed me the beauty of friendship and creativity." Zara stepped forward, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "You've brought so much light into our lives, Karis. You taught us to embrace our stories and to blend our cultures." Brulac added, "You showed us that we're stronger together. No matter where you go, you'll always be part of our family." Karis felt tears prickling at the corners of his eyes as he looked around at the faces of his friends. "I will carry each of you with me in my heart. This isn't goodbye, It's simply a see you later." The crowd erupted in cheers, a wave of encouragement washing over him. As the evening unfolded, they shared stories, laughter, and food, creating a tapestry of memories that Karis would cherish forever. He felt a sense of belonging, a bond that transcended distance and time. Later in the night, Zara took Karis aside, away from the festivities. "Can we talk for a moment?" she asked, her tone serious. "Of course," he replied, sensing the weight of her words. They found a quiet spot under a sprawling tree, the stars twinkling overhead. "I wanted to give you something," she said, pulling a small, intricately painted box from her bag. "Open it." Karis took the box, curiosity bubbling within him. As he opened it, he found a delicate bracelet, woven with threads of vibrant colors, each representing a different memory they had shared. "It's beautiful, Zara," he breathed, touched by the gesture. "Thank you." "I wanted you to have a piece of us with you," she said softly. "Whenever you look at it, remember that you're never truly alone. We're always with you, cheering you on." Karis slipped the bracelet onto his wrist, feeling the warmth of her words envelop him. "I promise to carry you all in my heart," he said earnestly. They stood together in the quiet, the sounds of laughter and celebration fading into the background. "You're going to do amazing things, Karis. I believe in you," Zara said, her eyes steady. "Thank you, Zara. That means more than you know," Karis replied, gratitude swelling within him. As the night wore on, Karis found himself reflecting on the journey that had brought him to this moment. The loneliness he had felt when he first arrived, the struggles of adapting, and ultimately, the friendships that had transformed his life. When the gathering began to wind down, Karis stood with his friends, their arms linked together in a circle. "Let's take a group photo," Alara suggested, her enthusiasm contagious. As they gathered, the night sky lit their faces, a snapshot of joy and connection. Karis felt a rush of gratitude as he posed with them, capturing the moment forever. After the photo, they exchanged heartfelt hugs, laughter mingling with tears. Karis felt the warmth of their connection wrap around him like a comforting blanket. "I'll miss you all so much," he whispered as he embraced each friend. "Stay in touch," Brulac urged. "We want to hear about all your adventures." "I promise," Karis replied, his heart full. As the night came to an end, Karis found himself standing alone for a moment, gazing at the mural they had created together. The colors glowed in the moonlight, each stroke a testament to their journey, their friendship, and the love they had poured into it. In that moment, he made a silent vow to honor the connections he had forged and to carry their stories with him wherever he went. The following morning, as the sun rose, Karis gathered his belongings, feeling the weight of anticipation and sadness. The air was thick with the scent of flowers and the promise of new beginnings. He stood outside, taking one last look at the community that had embraced him. With a deep breath, he activated his communicator, the device humming to life. He felt a mix of excitement and apprehension as he prepared to send a final message to his friends, expressing his gratitude and love. As he composed the message, Karis couldn't help but reflect on the impact they had made on his life. Each friend had taught him something unique: Zara with her unwavering positivity, Brulac with his adventurous spirit, and Alara with her kindness and creativity. Finally, with a trembling finger, he pressed send, feeling a wave of emotion wash over him. This was the end of one chapter, but it was also the beginning of another. The journey back to his home planet felt surreal. Karis watched the stars streaking past as his ship glided through the cosmos, the familiar constellations twinkling like old friends. He held the bracelet Zara had given him tightly in his hand, a tangible reminder of the love and friendships he had formed. As the ship descended towards his home planet, Karis's heart raced. He was excited to share his experiences, but apprehensive about how his people would receive him. Would they understand the transformation he had undergone? Would they accept the new ideas he wished to bring back? The ship landed softly, and as he stepped out onto familiar ground, the air buzzed with nostalgia. Karis took a moment to breathe it all in: the sense of home, the sounds of nature, and the feeling of belonging. As he walked towards the gathering hall, He felt a mix of anticipation and anxiety. Elders and community members awaited him, their faces a blend of curiosity and expectation. "Karis," a voice called, and he looked up to see his mother, her arms open wide. "Mother!" he exclaimed, rushing into her embrace. The warmth and love enveloped him, grounding him in the moment. "We missed you, my son. Tell us about your journey," she said, her eyes shining with pride. Karis smiled, feeling a rush of affection for his family. "I have so much to share. It was a life-changing experience." As he began to recount his adventures, Karis noticed the mix of reactions among the elders. Some listened intently, their expressions softening as he described the friendships he had formed and the lessons he had learned. Others, however, seemed skeptical, their brows furrowing at the ideas he presented. When he spoke of the murals and the blending of cultures, a few exchanged glances, their unease palpable. Karis took a deep breath, reminding himself of the importance of sharing his truth. "I learned that our stories are powerful," he continued passionately. "By embracing diversity, we can strengthen our community. We don't have to lose our traditions, we can build upon them." Karis stood before the gathering, the weight of anticipation hanging in the air. As he finished recounting his experiences, he scanned the faces of the elders, searching for signs of understanding. The murmurs that filled the hall were a mix of intrigue and apprehension, a reflection of the diverse perspectives he had encountered in his travels. Elder Nico, a respected figure among the council, raised his hand, signaling for silence. The room fell still as he began to speak, his voice steady and measured. "Karis, you speak of vibrant colors and shared stories. This is commendable, but tell us, how do you propose to implement these ideas in our community without losing our identity?" Karis felt his heart race. It was a crucial question, one that had been echoing in his mind throughout his journey. "Elder Nico," he began, "I believe that honoring our traditions doesn't mean we must remain stagnant. By sharing our culture with others and incorporating new perspectives, we enrich our identity rather than diminish it. The murals I created with my friends are a testament to this. They reflect our stories while embracing the influences around us." The elder nodded thoughtfully, his gaze penetrating. "And what of our elders' teachings? Our ways have served us for generations." "They are invaluable," Karis replied earnestly, "but we can adapt. Traditions can evolve, just as we do. Imagine blending our art with new styles, inviting younger generations to participate. We can create a living culture that thrives." A few heads nodded in agreement, while others remained skeptical. Elder Jerk, known for his stern demeanor, interjected. "You speak of change as if it were simple. Our identity is not a canvas to be painted over lightly. How can you guarantee that our values will remain intact?" Karis felt the challenge weighing heavily on him. "I don't wish to erase our values. Rather, I want to build on them. We can initiate discussions, workshops, and community events where we explore these ideas together. It's about collaboration, not replacement." A ripple of conversation surged through the hall. Karis could see that the idea of collaboration resonated with some but faced resistance from others. This was what he had feared, a divide between tradition and evolution. His mother, who had been quietly observing, spoke up, her voice warm yet firm. "Karis brings a passion for growth, one we should consider. Our people have always been resilient. Adapting does not mean we lose ourselves." Karis felt a wave of gratitude wash over him as he met her gaze. Her support bolstered his confidence. "Exactly. We can learn from our past while embracing the future. I propose a festival, a celebration of our culture and the cultures I encountered. We can showcase our art, music, and stories while inviting others to share theirs. This could be a bridge, connecting us to new possibilities." Elder Nico stroked his beard thoughtfully. "A festival, you say? It would require much planning and cooperation. Are you prepared for that?" Karis straightened, determination lighting his eyes. "Yes, I am. I believe this festival could invigorate our community, encouraging participation from all generations. We can involve local artists, musicians, and storytellers to ensure it represents us authentically." Slowly, nods of agreement began to spread through the assembly. Karras felt a spark of hope. Perhaps this was the opportunity he needed to foster understanding and growth. After a lengthy discussion, the council agreed to consider Karras's proposal and set a date for a follow-up meeting. Though some were still skeptical, the seeds of change had been planted. As the gathering dispersed, Karras felt a mix of relief and excitement. The journey ahead would be challenging, but he was ready to embrace it. Over the following weeks, Karras poured his heart into planning the festival. He gathered a team of volunteers, young and old, who shared his vision. Together, they brainstormed ideas, decorated banners, and organized workshops that would celebrate their unique heritage. Word spread quickly throughout the community, and soon people were eager to contribute. Local artists offered to showcase their work, while musicians volunteered to perform. Karras felt a swell of gratitude as he watched the enthusiasm grow, realizing that change could indeed foster connection. One afternoon, as they worked on the festival preparations, Zara appeared at the hall's entrance, her eyes sparkling with joy. "Karras, I heard about the festival. We couldn't miss it, so we came to help." Brulac and Alara followed closely behind, their faces beaming with excitement. "We're all in," Alara exclaimed, throwing her arms around Karras. "You guys made it," Karras laughed, feeling a rush of warmth at their presence. "I'm so glad you're here." As they joined in the preparations, Karras felt the energy of their friendship infuse the room. Zara shared ideas for workshops that could introduce traditional art techniques, while Brulac suggested a storytelling corner where elders could share tales from their youth. "I want to showcase how our stories can connect to others," Karras said, feeling the excitement bubbling within him. "We'll create a space for sharing where everyone's voice is valued." As the festival date approached, Karras found himself balancing the logistics of the event with the emotional weight of transitioning back into his life at home. The support of his friends bolstered his spirits, yet he still felt a longing for the vibrant community he had left behind. The day of the festival dawned bright and clear. The air was electric with anticipation, and Karras felt a flutter of nerves as he surveyed the decorations adorning the gathering hall and surrounding areas. Colorful banners, handcrafted by community members, fluttered in the breeze, each one telling a story of its own. As guests began to arrive, Karras greeted them with open arms, the warmth of the community washing over him. Families set up booths showcasing traditional crafts, while others prepared food stalls that filled the air with tantalizing scents. Music floated through the air, inviting everyone to participate. Karras found his heart swelling with pride as he looked around, witnessing the vibrant tapestry of culture woven together by the festival. He noticed familiar faces: his mother, Elder Nico, and even Elder Jerk, who seemed more relaxed than before. As the festival kicked off, Karras took to the stage, feeling a mix of nerves and excitement. "Welcome, everyone," he called, his voice ringing through the crowd. "Today, we come together to celebrate our heritage and embrace the beautiful stories that connect us all. Let's open our hearts to new experiences." Cheers erupted from the audience, and Karras felt a wave of encouragement. He introduced the first performer, a local musician who strummed a traditional instrument, filling the space with melodious notes. The crowd swayed, laughter and joy radiating through the air. Throughout the day, Karras witnessed a remarkable exchange of ideas and cultures. Artists shared their techniques, inspiring creativity among attendees. Elders shared stories that resonated with younger generations, creating bonds that spanned age gaps. Zara, Brulac, and Alara set up a collaborative art station where festival-goers could create their own pieces, blending traditional and modern styles. Karras moved between activities, soaking in the vibrant atmosphere and the connections forming around him. As the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the gathering, Karras stood in front of the mural they had painted together, the colors shining brightly in the twilight. He felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him. This was what he had envisioned: a celebration of unity and creativity. "Come gather around," he called, waving his friends and the community to him. "It's time to unveil our collaborative mural." The crowd formed a semicircle around the mural, their faces light with curiosity. Karis felt a thrill of excitement as he and his friends unveiled the artwork, revealing a stunning fusion of styles, colors, and stories. "This mural represents our journey, our cultures, and our shared experiences," Karis explained, his heart racing. Each stroke embodies the beauty of collaboration and the power of connection. As people admired the mural, Karis glanced at his friends, their expressions filled with pride. The moment felt surreal, a culmination of everything they had worked for together. "Let's make a promise," Zara suggested, her voice ringing out above the chatter. "To continue this journey of connection, to keep exploring and sharing our stories." Karis nodded, feeling the warmth of their bond enveloping him. "Yes, we'll keep this spirit alive, no matter where we go." As the festival continued into the night, the atmosphere was filled with laughter, music, and the promise of new beginnings. Karis felt a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that he could bridge the gap between tradition and innovation. In the weeks that followed the festival, Karis witnessed a change in the community. Conversations sparked about art, culture, and the importance of collaboration. Younger generations began taking an active role in preserving their heritage while also embracing new ideas. Elder Nico approached Karis one evening, a thoughtful expression on his face. "I must admit, I was skeptical at first, but what you've achieved here has opened my eyes. Change can coexist with tradition." Karis felt a swell of gratitude. "Thank you, Elder Nico. I believe that by fostering dialogue, we can strengthen our community." As the seasons changed, Karis continued to organize workshops and events, inviting local artists to collaborate and share their skills. The festival had ignited a spark, and he was determined to nurture it. One day, while walking through the marketplace, Karis spotted a group. The marketplace was alive with energy as Karis navigated through the colorful stalls, the scent of spices and fresh produce mingling in the air. Laughter and chatter surrounded him, creating a vibrant tapestry of community life. He felt a renewed sense of purpose, a drive to continue the momentum sparked by the festival. As he stopped by a stall selling handmade pottery, a familiar voice called out to him. "Karis, over here." Turning, he saw Zara waving enthusiastically from across the market. She was surrounded by a few local children, her smile infectious. Karis felt a rush of warmth at the sight of her. Her presence always seemed to light up the room. "Hey, Zara," he called back, weaving through the crowd to join her. "What are you up to?" Zara knelt down, showing the children how to mold clay into shapes. "We're making little pots. I thought it'd be a fun way to keep the creative spirit alive after the festival." Karis knelt beside her, smiling at the children's eager faces. "That's a great idea. Clay can be such a wonderful medium. Are you teaching them about different styles?" "Absolutely," Zara grinned, her enthusiasm infectious. "We're experimenting with traditional patterns and designs. It's amazing to see how they interpret it." As the children excitedly squished and shaped their clay, Karis felt a rush of inspiration. What if we held regular workshops? We could rotate between different artistic disciplines: painting, pottery, storytelling. It could be a community initiative to keep our creative connections alive. Zara's eyes lit up at the idea. "That's brilliant. We could involve more people from the community, maybe even invite some of the artists who participated in the festival." Karis nodded, excitement bubbling within him. "Let's set up a meeting. We can gather ideas and see who wants to participate. This could be the start of something amazing." As they discussed plans, a few more friends joined them, intrigued by their conversation. Brulac appeared, his arms laden with colorful fabrics. "What are you two scheming about?" he asked with a teasing grin. "We're planning regular creative workshops," Karis replied. "You in?" "Count me in. I've got some ideas for textile art we could explore," Brulac said, draping a vibrant cloth over a nearby table. "I've been wanting to incorporate storytelling into my fabric designs." Alora soon joined them, her eyes sparkling. I heard the word workshop and had to come see what's happening. What's the plan? With excitement radiating from their small group, Karis began outlining their vision. We'll create a space for everyone to share their skills and learn from one another. It's all about fostering community and keeping the spirit of the festival alive. Alara nodded enthusiastically. That sounds amazing. We can even promote it through the local media to reach more people. As they brainstormed ideas, Karis felt a surge of hope. The festival had been a catalyst, igniting a desire for creativity and connection among the community. Now, they could build on that foundation, creating something lasting. Over the next few weeks, Karis and his friends organized the workshops, designing flyers and spreading the word. The response was overwhelmingly positive. People of all ages were eager to participate, excited about the prospect of learning and sharing. On the first day of the workshop series, Karis arrived at the community center, feeling a mix of anticipation and nerves. Colorful banners decorated the entrance, and the sound of laughter and chatter filled the air. He took a moment to breathe it all in, feeling the energy surrounding him. Zara greeted him at the door, her eyes bright. "Look at all the people. This is incredible." Karis scanned the room, his heart swelling with pride. Families, friends, and neighbors filled the space, each one eager to engage in the creative activities. "I can't believe how many showed up." "Let's get started," Zara said, leading him to the central area where a group of eager participants had gathered. "I'll kick things off with pottery. We'll start with the basics and then move on to some fun projects." As the workshop unfolded, Karis watched in awe as people of all ages embraced their creativity. Children giggled while forming shapes, while adults shared stories about their artistic journeys. The atmosphere was alive with joy, a beautiful testament to the power of community. Throughout the day, Karis moved between different stations, witnessing the creativity flowing in every corner. Brulac's textile art station was a hit, with participants experimenting with fabrics and dye techniques. Alara's storytelling corner drew a crowd, where she invited both young and old to share tales of their lives. As the day drew to a close, Karis stood back, a sense of fulfillment washing over him. This was what he had envisioned, a space where creativity thrived, connections were forged, and stories were shared. Later that evening, as he helped clean up, Zara approached him, her eyes shining with excitement. "Today was a success. We should do this more often." "I agree," Karis said, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. "We could even have themed workshops each month. That way, we can explore different aspects of our culture and creativity." Zara nodded eagerly. "Yes, let's brainstorm ideas for the next one. I can't wait to see what everyone comes up with." The workshops became a beloved fixture in the community, drawing people together in celebration of art and storytelling. Each session brought new participants and fresh ideas, creating a vibrant tapestry of creativity. Months passed, and Karis watched as the workshops evolved. They developed themes that connected with the community's heritage, intertwining traditional crafts with modern techniques. Participants learned not just to create, but to connect with each other and their histories. As the workshops flourished, Karis felt a deepening bond with his friends and neighbors. They shared laughter, stories, and experiences that enriched their lives and the community. The sense of belonging he had sought since returning home grew stronger each day. One evening, after a particularly lively workshop, Karis sat with his friends outside, the stars twinkling above. "I can't believe how far we've come," he said, looking around at the group. "It feels like we're building something really special." Brulac leaned back, a thoughtful expression on his face. "It's incredible to see everyone come together like this. It's as if the festival opened a door, and now we're walking through it." "Exactly," Alara added, her enthusiasm palpable. "We're creating a legacy, something that will last beyond us." As they talked, Karis felt a sense of gratitude for the journey they had embarked on together. They had taken the spark of creativity from the festival and transformed it into a flame, light their community in ways he had only dreamed of. One day, while Karis was gathering materials for the upcoming workshop, he received a message from Elder Nico. The elder wished to meet with him to discuss the ongoing success of the workshops and the impact they were having on the community. Curiosity piqued, Karras made his way to the elder's home, feeling a mix of excitement and apprehension. He had always respected Elder Nico and valued his perspective. As he arrived, he was greeted warmly and invited inside. "Thank you for coming, Karras," Elder Nico said, gesturing for him to sit. "I've been watching the workshops unfold, and I must commend you on your efforts. They have sparked a renewed interest in our culture." Karras felt a rush of warmth at the elder's words. "Thank you, Elder Nico. It's been a collaborative effort. Everyone has been so eager to participate and share." Elder Nico nodded thoughtfully. "This engagement is crucial. As we nurture creativity, we also preserve our heritage. However, I want to discuss how we can extend this initiative beyond the workshops." "What do you mean?" Karras asked, intrigued. "The recent interactions with different art forms and cultures have opened doors for collaboration with neighboring communities. I believe we could host a larger event, a cultural exchange festival that celebrates not only our heritage but also the diversity surrounding us." Karras felt a thrill of excitement. "That sounds amazing. We could invite neighboring communities to showcase their art and traditions while sharing ours. It would be a wonderful way to build bridges and learn from one another." "Indeed," Elder Nico replied, a twinkle in his eye. "I believe this could strengthen our community's connections, not only to each other, but to the wider world. Let us gather the council and discuss this further." As they outlined their ideas, Karras felt a rush of inspiration. This was an opportunity to take their creative journey to new heights, extending the spirit of collaboration and connection far beyond their immediate community. With renewed energy, Karras returned to his friends, eager to share the elder's proposal. They met that evening, buzzing with excitement over the prospect of the Cultural Exchange Festival. "This could be the culmination of everything we've built so far," Ilara exclaimed, her eyes shining with enthusiasm. "Exactly. It's a chance to showcase our community's creativity and learn from others," Karras added. "We can involve everyone. The workshops we've established can serve as a platform for different art forms and storytelling." Brulac chimed in. "Let's make this a celebration. We can incorporate music, dance, food, and crafts. It'll be an experience everyone can enjoy." As they brainstormed, ideas flowed freely, and Karras felt a sense of unity enveloping them. This was more. As the sun rose over the horizon, casting a warm golden glow on the bustling community, Karras felt an exhilarating blend of excitement and nerves coursing through him. The preparations for the Cultural Exchange Festival had officially begun, and the momentum from the workshops had transformed into a full-fledged movement. What had started as a series of intimate gatherings was now blossoming into an event that promised to unite not just their community, but the surrounding ones as well. In the weeks leading up to the festival, Karras and his friends threw themselves into planning. They organized committees to handle logistics, outreach, and activities. Each meeting buzzed with enthusiasm as ideas flowed, every voice contributing to the fabric of what they hoped would be a rich tapestry of cultures. On one particularly busy afternoon, Karras, Zara, Brulac, and Ilara gathered at the community center to finalize details. Colorful posters lined the walls, and tables were strewn with sketches, lists, and notes. "We need to finalize the schedule for performances," Ilara said, scanning the notes in her hand. "If we want to feature musicians and dancers from both our community and others, we should make sure there's a good mix." Karras nodded, flipping through the stack of applications they had received. "I'm excited to see the variety. We've had interest from neighboring communities, and some of their artists want to collaborate with ours." Zara chimed in. "Let's ensure we highlight traditional performances alongside modern interpretations. It'll show how cultures can evolve while respecting their roots." Brulac leaned back in his chair, his eyes alight with inspiration. "And we should create a collaborative art installation that evolves throughout the day. Artists from different backgrounds can contribute, creating something beautiful and dynamic together." "That's a fantastic idea," Karis exclaimed, feeling the energy in the room rise. "We can set up a large canvas or a wall where people can paint or add their own elements. It would symbolize the connection between cultures and how they enrich each other." As the team continued to discuss logistics, they felt an undercurrent of excitement that made every detail seem significant. This was more than just a festival, it was a celebration of unity, a testament to the spirit of collaboration that had flourished in their community. As the festival date approached, they reached out to neighboring communities, inviting them to showcase their art, music, and food. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with many eager to join in and share their stories. Finally, the day of the Cultural Exchange Festival arrived. Karis woke up early, a whirlwind of emotions swirling within him. The air was crisp, and the sun peeked through the clouds, promising a beautiful day. He quickly dressed and headed to the community center, his heart racing with anticipation. When he arrived, he was met with a flurry of activity. Volunteers were setting up stalls, hanging banners, and preparing the performance area. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement, and Karis felt his nerves begin to settle as he joined in to help. "Everything looks amazing," Zara exclaimed, adjusting a banner that read, "Unity in Diversity." "Right," Karis grinned, helping to secure the banner to the post. "I can't believe we pulled this off." As the sun climbed higher in the sky, festival goers began to arrive. Families, friends, and neighbors filled the space, laughter and chatter ringing in the air. The vibrant stalls showcased crafts, art, and food from various cultures, and Karis felt a surge of pride at the sight. "Look at all the different foods," Brulak said, eyeing a table adorned with colorful dishes. "We have traditional pastries, savory dishes, and even some modern fusion food. This is going to be a feast." Alara waved enthusiastically at a group of musicians tuning their instruments nearby. "And the performances are about to begin. I can't wait to see how everyone reacts to each other's art." As the opening ceremony began, Karis took a moment to absorb the scene around him. Elder Nico stood at the front, welcoming everyone with a warm smile. His voice resonated with authority and kindness, setting the tone for the day. "Today, we come together not just as individuals, but as a community united in creativity and spirit. Let this festival remind us of the beauty in our differences and the strength in our connections." Karis felt his heart swell as the crowd erupted in applause. This was a moment of significance, one that would be remembered long after the festival concluded. The first performance kicked off, showcasing a local dance troupe adorned in vibrant costumes, moving gracefully to traditional music. The audience clapped along, their faces lit with joy as they immersed themselves in the rhythm and energy. As the day unfolded, Karis moved between the different stalls, engaging with festival goers and artists. He witnessed conversations blossoming, laughter shared over food, and art being created in real time. At the collaborative art installation, he saw children and adults alike contributing their own unique touches. Brushes danced across the canvas as individuals shared techniques and stories, each stroke weaving a narrative of connection. Later, Karis found himself at the storytelling corner, where elders from different communities shared their tales. The room was filled with a sense of wonder as listeners absorbed the rich histories and lessons being shared. Zara joined him, her eyes sparkling. "This is incredible. I never expected so many people to engage like this." "It's a testament to the power of storytelling," Karis replied, his gaze fixed on the captivated audience. "Every story brings us closer together, reminding us that we all share the same human experience." As the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the festival, the atmosphere shifted. Musicians took to the stage, blending different musical styles that resonated with the diverse crowd. Karis watched as people danced, celebrating the culmination of their hard work. Feeling a sense of accomplishment, Karis turned to see Elder Nico approaching. The elder's face was filled with pride. "You have done well, Karis. This festival has brought our community closer and allowed us to connect with others in meaningful ways." "Thank you, Elder Nico," Karis replied, feeling a swell of gratitude. It wouldn't have been possible without the support of everyone involved. As night fell, the festival transformed into a tapestry of lights, colors, and music. Lanterns hung from trees, light the space with a warm glow. Karis felt a profound sense of belonging, witnessing the beauty of collaboration and connection unfold before his eyes. As he wandered through the crowd, Karis spotted Brulac and Alara engrossed in a lively discussion with some artists from a neighboring community. He smiled, knowing that this festival had created bonds that would last far beyond the day itself. Suddenly, he heard laughter from the collaborative art installation. Karis rushed over to see children and adults alike adding their final touches to the mural, their faces lit with joy and pride. The wall was a riot of colors, each section telling its own story while blending seamlessly into the whole. "This is beautiful," Karis exclaimed, taking in the vibrant scene. "You've all created something amazing together." Zara stepped back, her expression one of satisfaction. "It's a true representation of our community's different backgrounds coming together to create something greater." As the night continued, the festival reached its peak with a grand finale performance featuring musicians from various backgrounds playing together. Karis felt a rush of emotion as he watched the musicians interact, creating melodies that blended their traditions into something entirely new. When the last note echoed through the night, the crowd erupted into cheers and applause. Karis found himself standing with his friends, their faces filled with joy and accomplishment. "We did it," Ilara exclaimed, her voice nearly drowned out by the excitement. "This festival was a success beyond our wildest dreams." Karis nodded, feeling a swell of pride. "We've built something incredible here, a foundation for ongoing collaboration and creativity." As the festival began to wind down, Karis took a moment to reflect. He could see how the seeds of change they had planted were blossoming into something beautiful, something that would continue to grow and thrive in their community. As people began to disperse, Karis felt a sense of satisfaction wash over him. This festival was not just a celebration, it was a reminder that connection, creativity, and collaboration could pave the way for a brighter future. In the weeks following the festival, Karis and his friends worked tirelessly to sustain the momentum they had built. They organized follow-up workshops, inviting those who had participated in the festival to share their experiences and continue the dialogue. The collaborative art installation remained on display at the community center, a visual testament to the unity and creativity that had flourished during the festival. Karis felt a sense of pride every time he passed by, knowing that it represented a turning point for their community. One afternoon, as Karis walked through the marketplace, he overheard snippets of conversations that warmed his heart. People were discussing the festival, sharing stories about their favorite moments, and expressing excitement for future collaborations. As he approached a stall, he spotted Elder Nico speaking with a group of younger individuals, sharing insights about the importance of preserving their heritage while embracing new ideas. Karis felt a rush of gratitude for the elders' support, knowing that his guidance had been instrumental in their journey. "Hey, Karis," Zara called out, catching up with him. "I just spoke to some artists from the festival who are interested in doing a pop-up gallery next month. We should definitely get involved." "That sounds fantastic," Karis replied, his eyes lighting up. "Let's make it happen. We can showcase artwork from this." As the excitement from the Cultural Exchange Festival settled into the fabric of everyday life, Karis found himself in a state of invigorated purpose. The community was abuzz with creative energy, and the success of the festival had sparked a renewed passion for art and collaboration among its members. Over the next few weeks, Karis, Zara, Brulac, and Ilara worked tirelessly to bring the pop-up gallery to life. They secured a space in the heart of the marketplace, where foot traffic was high, ensuring that the event would attract not only locals but also visitors from nearby towns. "Imagine walking into a vibrant space filled with art from our community and beyond," Brulac said, his hands animated as he outlined his vision. "We can set up interactive exhibits, live demonstrations, and even have artists available to talk about their work." Zara nodded enthusiastically. And we should include a section for storytelling, maybe even have a few open mic slots for people to share their experiences with art and creativity. Alara added, "What if we invited some of the artists who participated in the festival to showcase new works? We can create a theme that reflects what we learned about unity and diversity." Karis felt the familiar thrill of excitement coursing through him. "Yes, let's call it Voices of Unity, a celebration of our interconnectedness through art. We'll create a space where everyone can share their stories." The planning sessions became a whirlwind of creativity, ideas bouncing between them like sparks in a fire. They reached out to local artists, inviting them to submit work, and soon the gallery began to take shape. The day before the event, Karis stood in the space, surrounded by the vibrant artwork that filled the walls. Paintings, sculptures, and mixed media pieces adorned the room, each telling its own story while contributing to a larger narrative of community and collaboration. "Look at this," Zara exclaimed, holding up a colorful piece that depicted a swirling landscape interwoven with symbols from different cultures. "It captures the essence of what we've been building." Karis stepped closer, admiring the work. "It's beautiful. I love how it represents the blending of our histories. It really speaks to our theme." As they worked late into the night, hanging pieces and arranging displays, Karis couldn't help but reflect on how far they had come. The energy from the festival had ignited a flame of creativity in their community, and now they were channeling that energy into something new and meaningful. On the morning of the pop-up gallery, Karis arrived early, buzzing with anticipation. He wanted everything to be perfect. The space was filled with soft light, and he felt a sense of serenity wash over him as he took in the art surrounding him. One by one, the artists arrived, their faces lighting up with excitement as they saw their work displayed. Karis greeted each one, encouraging them to engage with attendees and share the stories behind their creations. The atmosphere felt electric, and he could sense that this event would be something special. As the gallery opened its doors, people began to filter in, curiosity evident on their faces. Karis stood at the entrance, welcoming guests and guiding them toward the artwork. He watched as locals mingled with artists, conversations blossoming amidst the vibrant backdrop of creativity. "Look at how engaged everyone is," Zara said, her eyes sparkling as she joined Karis. "This is incredible. I think we're onto something big here." "I can't agree more," Karis replied, scanning the room filled with laughter and animated discussions. "It's amazing to see the impact of our efforts. Art has this unique ability to connect people, and I feel that energy here." As the day progressed, the space thrummed with life. Attendees wandered from piece to piece, taking in the stories woven into each artwork. Karis moved through the crowd, soaking in the atmosphere and listening to snippets of conversations. At one point, he found himself drawn to a small group gathered around a young artist named Amina. Her artwork depicted a vibrant scene of a market filled with people from various cultures, all engaging and interacting. "This piece represents my experience growing up here," Amina explained, her voice filled with passion. "It reflects the beauty of our community's diversity and how it enriches our lives." Karis listened intently, feeling inspired by her words. "Your work is amazing, Amina. It really captures the essence of our community spirit." "Thank you," Amina beamed, her confidence shining through. "I want people to feel a sense of connection when they look at it." As the afternoon sun dipped lower in the sky, the gallery shifted into a more intimate setting. Karis and his friends had arranged for a storytelling session, inviting attendees to share their experiences and the meanings behind their artwork. Alara opened the floor, encouraging participants to speak from the heart. One by one, people took the microphone, sharing personal stories that resonated with the crowd. Some spoke of their artistic journeys, while others recounted how art had played a role in their family histories. Karis watched, captivated by the raw emotion and authenticity filling the room. This was the heart of the event, an opportunity for individuals to connect on a deeper level, transcending the barriers of language and culture. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the gallery, Karis felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him. The event had transformed into a celebration of community, connection, and creativity, just as he had envisioned. Towards the end of the evening, Brulac stood up to share his own story. He had prepared a piece that combined his love for textiles and storytelling. "I grew up surrounded by stories woven into the fabrics of my family's history," he began, his voice steady. "Every piece of cloth tells a story, just as every person in this room has a narrative that shapes who they are." As he spoke, he unveiled a series of textile pieces that depicted different aspects of their community's history, moments of joy, struggle, and resilience. The audience listened intently, visibly moved by the connection he was creating through his art. When Brulac finished, the room erupted in applause, and Karis felt a rush of pride for his friend. "You have a gift, Brulac. That was beautiful," he said, clapping him on the back as he returned to his seat. As the gallery wrapped up for the night, Karis gathered with his friends, their hearts full of joy and accomplishment. "We did it," he said, a smile spreading across his face. "This was more than I could have imagined." Zara nodded, her expression radiant. "It's a testament to the power of community. We created a space where people could share their stories and connect through art." Brulac chimed in. "And we've sparked something that can continue to grow. Imagine if we made this an annual event, inviting more communities to join in." Elara's eyes lit up. "That's a fantastic idea. We could make it even bigger next time, adding more workshops and interactive elements. We've only just scratched the surface of what we can do." As they discussed future plans, Karis felt a renewed sense of purpose. The pop-up gallery had solidified their commitment to fostering creativity and connection within their community. In the following weeks, they began organizing meetings to discuss the future of their initiative. Karis was energized by the possibilities that lay ahead. They could explore new collaborations, expand their outreach, and continue to nurture the creative spirit that had ignited during the festival and carried into the gallery. One afternoon, Karis received a message from Elder Nico, inviting him to meet at the community center. The elder had been a guiding force throughout their journey, and Karis was eager to hear his thoughts on the recent events. As Karis arrived, he found Elder Nico sitting on a bench, a serene expression on his face. "Ah, Karis, I'm glad you could come," the elder said warmly. "I wanted to discuss the impact of the gallery and what it means for our community." Karis settled onto the bench, eager to hear the elder's insights. "It's been incredible, Elder Nico. The response was beyond our expectations, and people are more engaged than ever." "I could sense that," Elder Nico replied, nodding thoughtfully. "Your efforts have rekindled a spark within the community, reminding us all of the importance of creativity and connection. It's a vital part of our identity." Karis felt a sense of validation at the elder's words. "We want to build on that momentum. We're discussing making the gallery an annual event, expanding our outreach to include more communities." Elder Nico's eyes sparkled with approval. "That is an excellent idea. Art and culture have the power to bridge gaps and foster understanding. The more we connect with others, the stronger our community becomes." As they talked, Karis shared their visions for future workshops and collaborations. Elder Nico listened intently, offering wisdom and guidance as they explored ways to expand their initiatives. "You must also remember to involve the younger generation," the elder advised. "Encouraging their participation will ensure that our traditions and stories continue to thrive." Karis nodded, appreciating the elder's insight. "We've already seen a lot of interest from young artists, and we want to create more opportunities for them to express themselves." As their conversation drew to a close, Elder Nico placed a reassuring hand on Karis's shoulder. "You are a leader, Karis. Trust in your vision and the community's willingness to embrace it. Together, you can weave a rich tapestry that honors." As autumn settled in, painting the landscape with shades of gold and crimson, Karis felt an invigorating sense of purpose. The success of the pop-up gallery had resonated deeply within the community, and the momentum of creativity was palpable. Ideas for the annual event were swirling around him like leaves caught in a gentle breeze. each one a potential thread to weave into the fabric of their collaborative future. Karis, Zara, Brulak, and Alara had transformed their meetings into brainstorming sessions, the air thick with enthusiasm and possibility. They met regularly at the community center, a hub of energy where laughter and ideas flourished. This time, they were focused on expanding their reach and involving more diverse communities in the upcoming event. "We should start by reaching out to schools and universities," Ilara suggested one afternoon, her voice rising with excitement. "Young people have such vibrant ideas and fresh perspectives. They could really contribute to our vision." Brulak nodded vigorously. "Yes, we can create workshops for students to explore their artistic talents, painting, music, even storytelling. It'll not only involve them, but also help us understand what they want to express." Zara chimed in. "And let's not forget about the cultural groups nearby. We need to invite them to share their stories, their art, and their food. The more diverse our lineup, the richer the experience will be." Karis felt a thrill of excitement as he jotted down their ideas. "I love it. The theme for next year could be Voices of the Future, highlighting not just our past, but also the dreams and aspirations of the next generation." As they mapped out their plans, Karis couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the brink of something significant. He envisioned a festival that would not only celebrate art, but also forge connections between different generations and cultures. In the weeks that followed, they divided tasks, each member focusing on different aspects of the festival. Karis took the lead on outreach, drafting letters to local schools, universities, and cultural organizations, inviting them to participate in the upcoming event. Zara, with her knack for design, began working on promotional materials, creating posters that would catch the eye and ignite curiosity. Brulak immersed himself in planning workshops, reaching out to artists who could lead sessions for students. He wanted to emphasize hands-on experiences, where young people could explore various art forms and connect with established artists. Alara focused on organizing storytelling circles, ensuring that voices from different backgrounds would be heard. As the weeks rolled by, Karis felt a growing anticipation in the air. The community's response to their outreach was overwhelmingly positive. Schools began to express interest, and several cultural organizations reached out to collaborate. The tapestry of their festival was beginning to take shape, vibrant threads intertwining to form a picture of unity. One evening, while Karis worked late at the community center, he was interrupted by a knock at the door. He opened it to find Elder Nico standing there, his wise eyes twinkling in the dim light. "Good evening, Karis," the elder said, stepping inside. "I wanted to see how your plans for the festival are coming along." Karis smiled, feeling a rush of warmth at the elder's presence. "It's going really well, Elder Nico. We've received positive responses from schools and cultural groups. It feels like the community is really rallying behind this." Elder Nico nodded approvingly. "That is excellent to hear. It's important to create opportunities for younger voices to be heard. They hold the key to our future." "I completely agree," Karis replied, his enthusiasm evident. "We're planning workshops where students can learn from established artists and share their own stories through art. I believe it will empower them." "Empowerment is indeed the essence of growth," Elder Nico said, his voice rich with wisdom. "But remember, it's also essential to ensure that their voices are not just heard but truly valued. Encourage them to express their perspectives openly and honestly." Karis took the elder's words to heart. "I will. I want this festival to be a platform for everyone to share their experiences, their dreams, and their struggles." As they spoke, Karis felt the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders. He was determined to ensure that the festival would be more than just an event. It had to be a transformative experience for everyone involved. In the following weeks, the anticipation grew as the festival date approached. Karis and his friends dedicated countless hours to finalizing the details, coordinating schedules, and ensuring that all participants felt welcomed and supported. One day, Zara burst into the community center, her excitement contagious. "I just spoke with a local high school art teacher, and she wants her students to create murals for the festival. They'll work collaboratively on a large canvas, and it'll be a beautiful addition to our theme. That's fantastic, Karis replied, feeling a surge of inspiration. It'll be a visual representation of their voices and a testament to the power of collaboration. As the planning progressed, Karis noticed a palpable shift in the community. Conversations about the festival sparked enthusiasm and excitement, igniting creativity in unexpected places. People were painting, crafting, and sharing their stories, eager to contribute to the collective experience. On the day of the festival, the community center was a hive of activity. Colorful banners fluttered in the gentle breeze, and the scent of delicious food wafted through the air. Karis arrived early, taking a moment to soak it all in before the crowds poured in. "Today is going to be special," he said to Zara, who was setting up a display of artwork created by local students. "I can feel it," Zara replied, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. "This is more than just an event. It's a celebration of our community's spirit." As the gates opened, attendees flooded into the space, their faces filled with curiosity and excitement. Karis watched as families wandered from booth to booth, marveling at the diverse array of art, crafts, and cultural displays. At the center of the festival, a large canvas stood waiting for contributions from festival goers. It was a collaborative art piece designed to evolve throughout the day, embodying the spirit of unity that Karis and his friends had envisioned. "Let's get started," Karis encouraged the crowd, gesturing toward the canvas. "This is your chance to leave your mark, to add your voice to our tapestry." Children rushed forward with brushes in hand, eager to make their contributions. Laughter erupted as people of all ages painted, drew, and expressed themselves freely. Karis felt a swell of pride as he witnessed the spirit of collaboration come to life before his eyes. Throughout the day, Karis moved between the various activities, connecting with attendees and artists alike. He listened to stories shared in the storytelling circles, each one a thread in the intricate tapestry of their community. Some spoke of their heritage, while others shared their hopes for the future. As the afternoon wore on, Karis found himself drawn to a group of young artists gathered around a mural project. Their energy was infectious, and he was amazed by the creativity they poured into their work. "Look at this," one of the students exclaimed, pointing to a vibrant section of the mural. "We're combining our cultures into one image, showing how we're all connected." Karis felt a surge of admiration for their dedication. "It's incredible to see how you're weaving your stories together. This mural will be a powerful representation of unity." As the sun began to set, casting a warm golden glow over the festival, Karis gathered with his friends to reflect on the day. They stood together, watching as attendees danced to the live music, laughter and joy filling the air. "This has been amazing," Alara said, her voice filled with awe. "I can't believe how much everyone has engaged. It's truly a celebration of our community." Brulak nodded, a satisfied smile on his face. "And we've created an environment where people can express themselves freely. This is what it means to be part of something bigger." Karis felt a deep sense of fulfillment as he looked around at the festival. They had woven a beautiful tapestry of art, culture, and connection, one that would resonate within the community for years to come. As night fell, the festival culminated in a storytelling circle under the stars. People gathered around a fire, their faces light by the flickering flames. Karis sat among them, eager to listen as voices filled the night with tales of hope, resilience, and dreams for the future. One by one, individuals shared their stories, and Karis felt a sense of belonging wash over him. This was the heart of their festival, a gathering of souls united by a shared vision, a celebration of their diverse narratives. As the last storyteller concluded, the crowd erupted in applause, a chorus of appreciation echoing through the night. Karis could feel the energy pulsing in the air, a vibrant reminder of the bonds that had been forged. In that moment, Karis knew that their work was far from over. They had planted the seeds of creativity and collaboration, but the journey was just beginning. As the festival wrapped up, he turned to his friends, a determined glint in his eye. "Let's keep this momentum going. We've shown what we can achieve together, and now we need to continue nurturing our community's spirit. Zara nodded, her expression resolute. Absolutely. We've created something special, and it's our responsibility to keep it alive. Brulac added, we should plan follow-up workshops, community gatherings, and opportunities for collaboration. This is just the beginning. As they shared ideas for future initiatives. In the weeks following the festival, the vibrant energy that had swept through the community continued to ripple outward. Karis, Zara, Brulac, and Alara found themselves at the center of a burgeoning movement, one that transcended their original vision for the event. The festival had sparked not only a renewed interest in the arts, but also a deeper appreciation for the stories that connected them all. The community center buzzed with activity as they began organizing follow-up workshops. They decided to host a monthly series of events focusing on different art forms, each one designed to engage the community in meaningful ways. From painting and sculpture to music and dance, the workshops would serve as platforms for individuals to explore their creative potential. Karis took charge of coordinating the logistics, reaching out to local artists and inviting them to lead sessions. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and soon they had a lineup of talented individuals eager to share their skills and experiences with others. One afternoon, as Karis worked in the community center, he received a phone call from a local high school art teacher named Miss Anya. Karis, I just wanted to thank you for the amazing festival. My students are still buzzing with excitement, she said, her voice brimming with enthusiasm. I'm so glad to hear that, Miss Anya. It was a pleasure to have the students involved, Karis replied, his heart warming at the thought of the young artists. We'd love to keep the momentum going. I'd like to propose a collaboration for our upcoming school art show. Could we partner with you to create an exhibit that showcases both student work and local artists? She asked. Karis's mind raced with possibilities. Absolutely, that sounds like a fantastic idea. We can create a bridge between students and established artists, giving them the opportunity to learn from one another. Perfect. Let's set up a meeting to brainstorm ideas, Miss Anaya suggested, her excitement infectious. After hanging up, Karis felt a surge of inspiration. This collaboration could serve as a powerful continuation of the festival's spirit, providing a space for young artists to shine alongside their mentors. He quickly jotted down a list of potential artists to involve and ideas for how they could structure the exhibit. As the week progressed, Karis met with Miss Anya and began brainstorming ideas for the art show. They discussed the importance of creating an inclusive environment where students felt comfortable expressing themselves. We want to emphasize collaboration, Miss Anya said. Perhaps we could have each student paired with an artist to create a piece together. This way, they can learn not just the techniques, but also the stories behind the art. Karis nodded in agreement. That's a brilliant approach. It will give the students a chance to explore their creativity, while also building relationships with established artists. The two spent hours brainstorming, crafting a vision for the exhibit that would encapsulate the themes of unity and collaboration. They decided on the title, Bridging Generations, a fitting tribute to the interconnections being forged through art. As they finalized their plans, Karis couldn't shake the feeling that this project could have a far-reaching impact on the community. It was more than just an art show. It was an opportunity to nurture the next generation of artists, while celebrating the diverse stories that made their community unique. Meanwhile, Zara was hard at work organizing the upcoming workshops. She had reached out to several local artists, who were eager to share their expertise. The response was overwhelming, and soon they had a calendar full of engaging events. "Check this out," Zara exclaimed one day, her eyes sparkling with excitement as she presented a beautifully designed flyer. "I've created promotional materials for our workshops. We're going to get the word out and fill every session." Karis admired her design, the colors vibrant and inviting. "This looks amazing. I can't wait to see the community's response." Zara grinned. "I have a good feeling about this. We're creating a space where people can connect, learn, and grow together." Brulac, who had been experimenting with new textile techniques, chimed in. And let's not forget about the collaborative mural project. I've been sketching out ideas for how we can incorporate everyone's contributions from the festival into a permanent installation. Elara nodded enthusiastically. That mural could serve as a symbol of our community's spirit. Every stroke of paint will represent a voice, a story that contributes to our shared history. Karis felt a sense of pride swell within him as he watched his friend's passion and creativity unfold. They were building something meaningful, creating a legacy that would resonate through the generations. As the workshops kicked off, the community center transformed into a vibrant hub of creativity. People of all ages gathered to learn from local artists, exploring everything from painting and sculpture to music and dance. The air was filled with laughter, conversation, and the sound of brushes gliding across canvas. Karis found himself teaching a session on storytelling through art, where participants were encouraged to share their experiences and translate them into visual narratives. It was heartwarming to witness individuals discovering their voices and expressing themselves through creativity. During one session, a young girl named Layla shared her story of moving to the community from a distant town. As she painted, she spoke of her feelings of isolation and the warmth she had found among her new friends. Her painting reflected the vibrant colors of her journey, capturing both her struggles and triumphs. "This is beautiful, Layla," Karis said, his heart swelling with admiration. "Your story is powerful, and it shines through in your art. You have a gift." Layla beamed at the encouragement, her confidence visibly growing. "Thank you. I didn't know I could express myself like this." "That's the beauty of art," Karis replied. "It allows us to share our stories and connect with others in ways that words alone sometimes can't." As the weeks turned into months, the workshops continued to flourish, fostering a sense of community and collaboration. People who had once felt disconnected were now coming together, sharing their stories and experiences through art. Karis was particularly excited about the upcoming Bridging Generations exhibit. They had received a fantastic response from both students and local artists eager to participate. The excitement in the air was palpable as the opening date approached. On the night of the exhibit, Karis arrived early to help set up. The gallery space was transformed into a stunning showcase of talent, with vibrant pieces adorning the walls and the sounds of laughter and conversation filling the air. As the first guests began to arrive, Karis felt a rush of nerves mixed with excitement. He wanted everything to be perfect. This exhibit represented the culmination of so much hard work and collaboration, and he hoped it would resonate with everyone who walked through the doors. "Look at this," Zara exclaimed as she unveiled a large banner that read, "Bridging Generations." The design was vibrant and eye-catching, capturing the spirit of the exhibit perfectly. "It's beautiful, Zara," Karis said, taking in the banner. "It really sets the tone for the evening." As the crowd continued to grow, Karis took a moment to soak it all in. Families, artists, students, and community members mingled, their faces filled with excitement as they viewed the art on display. Each piece told a story, a shared experience that connected generations and cultures. Karis marveled at the range of creativity showcased, from mixed media pieces that incorporated textiles to paintings that captured the essence of personal journeys. "Welcome, everyone," Karis called out as he stepped up to address the crowd. "Thank you for joining us tonight for the Bridging Generations exhibit. This event is a celebration of the incredible talent within our community and the connections we've forged through art." Applause erupted, and Karis felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. Each piece you see tonight represents not only the creativity of its creator, but also the shared stories that bind us together. I encourage you all to engage with the artists, learn about their journeys, and celebrate the diversity that makes our community so special. As the evening progressed, Karis moved through the crowd, witnessing the conversations that blossomed as attendees connected over the art. He overheard snippets of stories being shared, laughter ringing out as people celebrated their creativity together. At one point, Karis found Layla standing proudly next to her painting, which depicted a kaleidoscope of colors intertwined with images of her journey. A small group of attendees gathered around her, captivated by her story. "This is my first time sharing my art like this," Layla said, her voice a mix of excitement and nervousness. "I used to feel alone, but now I feel like I belong." Karis couldn't help but smile as he watched her shine. "You've created something truly beautiful, Layla. Your story is inspiring, and it connects us all." As the night unfolded, Brulac led a group of attendees in a hands-on textile workshop, demonstrating how to incorporate storytelling into fabric art. Alara facilitated a storytelling circle where individuals took turns sharing their experiences and the meanings behind their creations. The sense of community was palpable, a thread woven through every conversation, every laugh, every shared moment. Karis felt a deep sense of fulfillment as he observed the connections being forged, a tapestry of relationships growing stronger with each passing moment. As the evening drew to a close, Karis gathered with his friends, their faces aglow with excitement. "This has been incredible," Zara said, her voice filled with joy. "I can't believe how many people came out to celebrate." Brulac nodded, his eyes sparkling. "And the way everyone engaged with the art and with each other, it's exactly what." As the last remnants of the Bridging Generations exhibit faded into the evening, Karis and his friends stood together, their hearts full and their spirits high. The community had come together in ways they had only dreamed of, and the echoes of laughter and connection lingered in the air. "Tonight felt like a turning point," Karis said, looking around at the bustling gallery, now slowly emptying. "This is what we envisioned, and it's just the beginning." "I agree," Alara said, her eyes shimmering with excitement. "The conversations we sparked, the connections we fostered, they all matter. We're creating a culture of creativity and collaboration." "But what comes next?" Brulac pondered, his brow furrowed. "We can't let this momentum fade. We need to keep engaging the community and building on what we've started." Zara, who had been silent for a moment, suddenly spoke up. "What if we organize a community mural project? It could be an ongoing initiative where people can come together to contribute their stories and artwork. We can dedicate a wall in the community center for this." Karis's face lit up at the idea. "That's brilliant. A mural would serve as a living testament to our collective creativity. It would evolve over time, just like our community." "Exactly," Zara replied, her enthusiasm infectious. "And we could host regular events around it, inviting people to come share their stories and paint together. It could be a space for healing, learning, and connection." Brulac nodded, his creativity ignited. "We could incorporate different artistic styles and mediums, making it an even richer experience. And we can invite artists from neighboring communities to join in. Let's expand our reach." Alara smiled, her mind already racing with ideas. "I love it. We can even create a theme for the mural that reflects the stories shared during the workshops and the exhibit." As they stood there brainstorming, Karis felt a renewed sense of purpose. They were ready to take the next step, to weave new threads into the fabric of their community, and to continue nurturing the spirit of collaboration and creativity. The following week, they convened a meeting at the community center to discuss the mural project with interested participants. Karis felt a mix of nerves and excitement as he prepared to present their vision. The room filled with familiar faces, friends, artists, and families who had attended the festival and the exhibit. Karis took a deep breath, grounding himself in the energy of the room. "Thank you all for being here," he began, his voice steady. "We're excited to introduce an ongoing community mural project that will allow us to share our stories and creativity in a vibrant, public space. This mural will be a living canvas that reflects who we are and what we value as a community." Zara stepped forward, her passion palpable. "The idea is to create a space where anyone can come, paint, and contribute their voice. We'll host regular events where people can gather to share their experiences, learn from each other, and work together on the mural." Ilada added, "We want this mural to be a representation of unity, diversity, and the stories that bind us together. We'll have a theme that evolves over time, incorporating contributions from artists of all ages." Karis noticed the energy in the room shift. eyes lighting up with excitement. This is an opportunity for everyone to be involved, regardless of their artistic background. We believe that art is a powerful medium for connection, and we want to create an environment where all voices can be heard. As they opened the floor for questions and ideas, hands shot up. People expressed their enthusiasm and offered suggestions, from hosting storytelling nights to inviting local musicians to perform at the events. Karis felt a thrill as he watched the community come alive with ideas. By the end of the meeting, they had a solid plan in place. They would kick off the mural project with an inaugural event, inviting the community to come together to paint, share stories, and celebrate their creativity. In the following weeks, the excitement surrounding the mural project grew. Flyers went up around the community center, and word spread quickly. Karis and his friends organized a series of prep meetings, gathering paint supplies, brushes, and canvases, while also reaching out to local artists for support. On the day of the inaugural event, the community center buzzed with anticipation. Karis arrived early to help set up, feeling a mix of nerves and excitement. The sun was shining brightly, casting a warm glow over the space as families began to trickle in. "Look at all these people," Zara exclaimed, her eyes wide with delight. "This is going to be amazing." Karis smiled, heartened by the turnout. The energy in the air was electric, filled with the promise of creativity and connection. As the event began, Karis welcomed everyone, his voice steady with excitement. "Thank you all for being here today. This mural project is about coming together, sharing our stories, and creating something beautiful that represents our community. Let's make this a day to remember." With that, the group began to disperse, mingling as they chose their colors and gathered brushes. Karis noticed a group of children huddled together, eagerly discussing their plans for the mural. "Can we paint a giant tree?" one of them asked, eyes wide with excitement. "Trees are strong and have roots, just like us." Karis knelt down beside them, his heart swelling. "That's a wonderful idea. A tree can symbolize our connections, our growth, and the stories we share. Let's make it happen." As the children enthusiastically began sketching out their idea, Karis felt a sense of hope wash over him. This project was already fulfilling its purpose, bringing people together, igniting creativity, and fostering a sense of belonging. Throughout the day, laughter and conversations flowed freely as people painted, shared stories, and connected with one another. Ilara facilitated a storytelling circle where individuals took turns sharing their experiences and inspirations. Karis listened intently, feeling honored to witness the vulnerability and strength of those who spoke. At one point, an elderly woman named Mrs. Klein shared her story of immigrating to the community many years ago. "When I arrived, I felt lost," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "But this place embraced me. I found my family here, and I want to honor that in the mural." Karis felt tears prick his eyes as he watched her speak. "Your story is beautiful, Mrs. Klein. It embodies the spirit of this mural. We are all connected, and your voice is an important part of that connection." As the sun began to set, casting a warm golden light over the mural, Karis stepped back to take it all in. The wall was a vibrant tapestry of colors, shapes, and stories, each brushstroke a testament to the creativity and connection that had blossomed that day. Just as Karis was about to invite everyone to gather for a group photo, he noticed a group of teens standing back, hesitating to join in. He approached them, sensing their reluctance. "Hey, are you all thinking about joining in?" he asked, smiling warmly. One of the teens, a girl named Mia, shrugged. "I don't really know how to paint. I don't want to mess it up." Karis knelt down beside her, his tone gentle. "Art isn't about being perfect. It's about expressing yourself. We'd love to have you here. You can start with anything, even a few simple shapes or colors. There's no wrong way to contribute." Mia looked at her friends, who nodded encouragingly. Slowly, she picked up a brush, dipping it into bright blue paint. Karis felt a surge of pride as he watched her begin to create. In that moment, she was stepping out of her comfort zone and finding her voice. As the day wound down, Karis gathered everyone for a group photo in front of the mural, the colors of their creations reflecting the warmth of the community they had built together. "Let's capture this moment," he said, grinning at the crowd. "This mural is just the beginning of our journey. Together, we can continue to create, share, and inspire one another." As the flash of the camera lit up their faces, Karis knew they were embarking on a new horizon. The mural was more than just paint on a wall. It was a symbol of the bonds they had formed, a testament to the stories they would continue to share. In the weeks that followed, the mural project flourished. Regular events drew people together, and the mural transformed into a dynamic canvas that captured the essence of their community. Stories continued to flow, and connections deepened as new individuals joined in. Karis watched in awe as the mural evolved, each edition reflecting the diverse experiences and backgrounds of those who contributed. It became a vibrant representation of their shared journey, a reminder of the power of creativity and collaboration. One evening, as Karis prepared for a mural workshop, he received an unexpected visitor. It was Elder Nico, his wise eyes sparkling with approval. "I wanted to see how your project was progressing, Karis," the elder said, stepping inside the community center. Karis felt a wave of gratitude at the elder's presence. "It's been incredible, Elder Nico. The mural has brought so many people together. It feels like a living testament to our community's spirit." Elder Nico nodded, his gaze sweeping over the mural. "You have done well to nurture creativity and connection. But remember, it's also essential to ensure that this space remains open and inclusive for all voices." The air was electric with anticipation as Karis prepared for another mural workshop. The community center, once just a building, had transformed into a vibrant hub of creativity and connection. The mural, a vivid tapestry of colors and stories, had become a symbol of their collective journey, and people were eager to contribute. As Karis set up the space, he reflected on Elder Nico's visit. The elder's words lingered in his mind, a reminder of the responsibility they held to create an inclusive environment. It was a lesson he was determined to carry forward in every aspect of their work. As participants began to arrive, Karis noticed a diverse group of faces: children, families, teenagers, and older community members, all eager to add their unique voices to the mural. He felt a wave of excitement as he greeted everyone. "Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we'll be focusing on adding new elements to the mural that reflect our stories and dreams," Karis said, his enthusiasm infectious. "Remember, there are no mistakes in art. Just express yourself, and let's create something beautiful together." As the group gathered around the mural, Karis noticed a few new faces among the familiar ones. One of the newcomers, a teenager named Aaron, seemed hesitant. He stood back, observing the others paint with a mixture of curiosity and doubt. Karis approached him, sensing his reluctance. "Hey, Aaron, what do you think? Are you thinking of joining in?" Aaron shrugged. "I've never really painted before. I don't know if I'm any good at it." Karis smiled, remembering his own fears when he first started exploring art. "You don't have to be an expert. Art is about sharing your feelings and ideas. What's important is your perspective. I'd love to see what you create." After a moment of hesitation, Aaron nodded slowly. "Okay, I'll give it a try." As Aaron picked up a brush, Karis felt a surge of hope. This was exactly what the mural project was about: encouraging individuals to step out of their comfort zones and express themselves. The workshop progressed, laughter and chatter filling the space as everyone began to paint. Karis walked among the participants, offering encouragement and guidance where needed. He stopped by a group of children who were painting flowers and butterflies. "This is fantastic," he exclaimed. "What inspired you to paint these?" One of the girls, Clara, beamed up at him. "We wanted to show how beautiful nature is and how it makes us feel happy." "That's a perfect addition to the mural. Nature brings us all together," Karis replied, encouraging their creativity. Meanwhile, Aaron had found a rhythm, his initial hesitation melting away as he layered colors on the wall. Karis glanced over and felt a swell of pride as he watched Aaron begin to express himself, a smile spreading across his face. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow through the community center's windows, Karis gathered everyone for a brief pause. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've created so far. Each of your contributions adds to the story of our community. With a few people sharing their thoughts about what the mural represented to them, Karis could see the impact of their work. They were not just painting, they were building connections, nurturing a sense of belonging. After a round of stories, Karis asked everyone to consider how they could deepen the mural's message. What if we incorporated words or phrases that hold meaning for us, he suggested. It could be a quote, a word that inspires you, or a sentiment that resonates with your experience. Zara, who had been busy helping the younger kids, jumped in. We could create a section of the mural dedicated to these words and ideas. It would add another layer to the story we're telling. As they brainstormed, a sense of excitement filled the room. Ideas flowed freely as participants began to gather words and phrases, each contributing to the evolving narrative of the mural. Karis felt the energy shift, an understanding settling among the group that their collective voice was powerful. After the workshop, as people began to leave, Karis lingered, feeling fulfilled but also curious about how to keep this momentum going. He caught up with Aaron, who was still working on his section of the mural. "Hey, Aaron, I just wanted to say, you did an amazing job today. What do you think of the mural project so far?" Karis asked. Aaron grinned, a newfound confidence radiating from him. "I didn't expect to enjoy it this much. I love how everyone's contributing. It feels like we're all part of something bigger." "Exactly. That's the beauty of this project," Karis replied. "It's about coming together and sharing our stories. I hope you'll continue to be a part of it." Aaron nodded enthusiastically. "Definitely. I'm looking forward to the next workshop." As the weeks turned into months, the mural continued to evolve, each workshop attracting more participants and new stories. Karis found himself amazed by the diverse perspectives that enriched the mural. It was no longer just a collection of individual contributions. It had become a vibrant expression of their community's identity. One day, while reviewing some feedback from participants, Karis received an email from Miss Anaya, the high school art teacher. She proposed a partnership to incorporate the mural project into her curriculum. "Dear Karis," the email began, "I hope this message finds you well. I've been following the progress of the mural project, and I think it would be a fantastic opportunity for my students to get involved. They could work on their own segments of the mural and explore themes of identity, belonging, and community. Let me know if you'd be open to this collaboration." Karis felt a thrill of excitement as he read her proposal. This collaboration could open doors for even more young artists to express themselves and connect with the broader community. He quickly responded, arranging a meeting with Miss Anaya to discuss the details. When they met, the conversation flowed easily, both of them eager to explore the possibilities. "We could organize a series of workshops specifically for the students," Karis suggested. "They could brainstorm ideas, collaborate with each other, and then bring their visions to life on the mural." Miss Anaya nodded, her enthusiasm palpable. "And we could incorporate art history lessons, exploring how murals have been used as a form of expression throughout time. This would give the students a deeper understanding of their work." They spent hours mapping out a plan, and Karis left the meeting feeling invigorated. The collaboration would not only enrich the mural project, but also empower students to find their voices in a larger context. As the partnership unfolded, Karis witnessed the impact of their efforts. Students from the high school began attending mural workshops, bringing fresh ideas and youthful energy. They contributed their stories, weaving in elements of their identities and experiences, further enhancing the mural's narrative. One student, Malik, had a particular passion for street art and graffiti. "I want to incorporate some elements of urban art into the mural," he said during a brainstorming session. "It represents where we come from and our voices as young people." Karis encouraged his idea, thrilled by the prospect of incorporating different artistic styles. "That's a fantastic addition, Malik. It will bring a unique perspective to the mural, and your vision can inspire others to express themselves in new ways. As the weeks progressed, Karis saw the mural becoming a focal point for dialogue and connection. Participants were eager to share their thoughts and experiences, and the mural's evolution was marked by laughter, collaboration, and moments of vulnerability. One afternoon, as Karis worked on the mural alongside several students, he overheard a conversation between two girls, Maria and Lila. They were discussing their family backgrounds and how their cultures influenced their artistic choices. "I want to paint a symbol from my heritage," Maria said, her eyes lighting up. "It represents strength and resilience. I think it would fit perfectly into the mural." Lila nodded. "That's beautiful, Maria. We should find a way to incorporate cultural symbols from each of our backgrounds. It would show how diverse we are while still being part of the same community." Karis felt a wave of pride as he listened. This was exactly the kind of dialogue he had hoped to foster, an exploration of identity through art, creating space for each individual's story while celebrating their interconnectedness. As the mural project continued, Karis felt the pull of something greater. The energy in the room, the stories being shared, and the connections being forged all pointed toward the potential for even more significant community initiatives. Inspired by the success of the mural project, Karis, Zara, Elara, and Brulak began to brainstorm ideas for expanding their efforts. They envisioned a community arts festival that would celebrate not just the mural, but the rich tapestry of talents and stories within their community. Zara's eyes sparkled as she shared her vision. "We could invite local musicians, dancers, and performers to showcase their talents. It would be a day of celebration, art, and creativity." Brulak added, "And we can have workshops throughout the festival, just like we did for the mural project. People could engage in various art forms and learn from each other." Elara, her mind racing with possibilities, suggested, "We could include storytelling sessions where people share their experiences and how art has impacted their lives. This would create a deeper connection among participants." Karis felt a surge of excitement as their ideas coalesced. This festival could serve as a powerful culmination of their efforts, a way to celebrate the community they had nurtured. As the planning for the Community Arts Festival took shape, Karis, Zara, Elara, and Brulak poured their energy into every detail. The festival would not only showcase the mural, but also highlight the diverse artistic expressions within their community. Excitement was palpable as they set the date and secured the community center's grounds for the event. In the weeks leading up to the festival, they organized meetings with local artists, performers, and community members, inviting everyone to contribute to the celebration. Flyers were distributed, social media buzzed with announcements, and a sense of unity began to blossom. Karis could feel the anticipation building, knowing that this event could be a transformative experience for everyone involved. One evening, as Karis reviewed the list of performers and workshop facilitators, he received a message from Miss Anyat. She wanted to discuss how her students could get involved in the festival. "Dear Karis," her email began, "I've spoken to my students about the festival, and they're thrilled at the prospect of participating. They'd love to showcase their art and also facilitate a workshop for younger kids. Could we schedule a time to brainstorm ideas?" Karis felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. The partnership with the high school had proven invaluable, and this collaboration could further amplify the festival's impact. They met the following week, surrounded by colorful sketches and vibrant ideas. The students were buzzing with enthusiasm, eager to contribute their unique perspectives to the festival. "I think we should have an interactive mural station," Malik suggested, his voice filled with excitement. "Kids could add their own designs to a smaller canvas that we can display at the festival. It would be a fun way to get everyone involved." "That's a fantastic idea," Karis replied, envisioning the joy it would bring to younger attendees. "We can also set up a space for live painting, where artists can create in real time. It'll be inspiring for everyone to witness the creative process." As they continued brainstorming, the energy in the room was infectious. The students proposed an art exhibit featuring their work, exploring themes of identity and community. Karis loved the idea this festival was about giving everyone a platform to share their stories and showcase their talents. With ideas flowing, they began to solidify plans. The festival would feature live music, dance performances, workshops for all ages, interactive art stations, and a showcase of local artists. Karis felt a sense of pride swell within him as he realized how many voices would be represented. As the festival date approached, Karis found himself immersed in preparations. He coordinated with vendors, confirmed performance schedules, and organized volunteers to help set up the event space. The sense of community support was overwhelming, with individuals stepping up to donate supplies, time, and expertise. On the day of the festival, Karis arrived early, the morning sun casting a warm glow over the community center. He marveled at how the once ordinary space had transformed into a lively festival ground. Colorful banners fluttered in the breeze, booths were set up, and the aroma of food from local vendors wafted through the air. Zara and Alara joined him, both wearing bright smiles. "This looks incredible," Zara exclaimed, taking in the decorations and the energy buzzing around them. "I can't believe it's finally happening." Alara nodded, her eyes sparkling. "We've put so much heart into this, it's going to be a day to remember." As the festival kicked off, Karis stood at the entrance, welcoming attendees with open arms. Families, children, and individuals from all walks of life poured in, excitement radiating from their faces. Karis felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that they were creating a space where everyone could feel valued and connected. The festivities began with a vibrant performance by a local dance troupe. The music pulsed through the crowd, inviting people to sway and clap along. Karis watched, his heart swelling as he saw how engaged the audience was, smiling and cheering for the performers. After the dance performance, Karis took to the stage, microphone in hand. "Welcome, everyone, to our first ever Community Arts Festival. Today is about celebrating each of you, your stories, your talents, and the beautiful diversity that makes our community special." The crowd erupted in applause, and Karis felt a rush of gratitude wash over him. "We have an incredible lineup of performances, workshops, and interactive art stations for you today. So let's dive in, connect with one another, and make some art together." The festival unfolded beautifully, with people moving between booths, participating in workshops, and enjoying the performances. Karis marveled at the mural station where kids were painting their contributions, giggling as they mixed colors and created whimsical designs. He wandered over to Malik and his classmates, who were facilitating an art workshop for younger children. "This is amazing," Karis said, watching as the students guided the kids through different techniques. "You're inspiring the next generation of artists." Malik beamed. "Thanks. It's been great to see them express themselves. Look at how much fun they're having." As the day progressed, Karis joined a storytelling circle, where community members shared their experiences related to art and creativity. Stories flowed freely, revealing the deep connections people had formed through their artistic expressions. One woman spoke about how painting had helped her heal after a difficult time in her life, while a young boy shared how drawing helped him make friends at school. Karis listened intently, feeling the weight of their words. These stories were what the festival was all about, creating a space for vulnerability, connection, and celebration. As evening approached, the festival reached its peak with live music. Local bands took to the stage, filling the air with infectious energy. Karis danced alongside fellow community members, reveling in the joy that enveloped them. The mural, now a backdrop to the festivities, seemed to pulse with life, each brushstroke a testament to the stories shared that day. With the sun setting, casting a warm orange glow over the festival, Karis gathered everyone for the closing ceremony. He felt a mix of emotions: excitement, gratitude, and a touch of bittersweet nostalgia. "Thank you all for being a part of this incredible day. Your stories, your creativity, and your presence have made this festival truly special." As he spoke, he noticed the faces in the crowd, some glowing with pride, others reflecting deep contemplation. Let's remember that today is just the beginning. We've planted the seeds of connection and creativity, and together, we can continue to grow and thrive as a community." Applause erupted, echoing through the evening air. Karis's heart swelled as he took in the sight before him the diverse tapestry of people, united in their shared experience. He felt the weight of responsibility, but also the exhilaration of possibility. As the festival wound down, Karis found himself surrounded by friends and participants, all buzzing with excitement. "Can you believe how amazing today was?" Zara exclaimed, her eyes sparkling. "I never expected so many people to show up," Ilara added, her enthusiasm contagious. Brulac clapped Karis on the back. "You did a fantastic job bringing everyone together. This is just the start, my friend." "I couldn't have done it without all of you," Karis replied, feeling a profound sense of gratitude for his friends and the community that had come together. In the days that followed, Karis reflected on the festival's success. The connections forged, the stories shared, and the creative energy unleashed had deepened the bonds within the community. He sensed that something transformative had taken root, and he was determined to nurture it. Inspired by the festival's impact, Karis gathered his friends for a brainstorming session. They met at their usual spot in the community center, energized by the momentum of the festival. "What's next?" Karis asked, leaning forward. "How can we keep this spirit of creativity and connection alive?" "I think we should establish a regular art night," Zara suggested. "A space where people can come together to create, share ideas, and collaborate on projects." Ilara nodded in agreement. "We can rotate themes each month, focusing on different art forms: painting, music, dance, even writing. This way, we'll continue to engage with various aspects of creativity." Brulac chimed in. "And we could invite local artists to lead workshops or demonstrations. It would be a great way for everyone to learn from each other and expand their skills." Karis felt a wave of excitement wash over him. "That sounds amazing. A regular art night could become a cornerstone of our community. Let's start planning it out and see how we can make it happen." Over the next few weeks, they organized the first art night, promoting it through flyers and social media. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with people expressing their eagerness to participate. On the night of the event, Karis arrived early to set up. The community center buzzed with energy as tables filled with art supplies, instruments, and materials awaited eager participants. The mural stood proudly on display, a reminder of their collective journey and the creativity that flowed through their community. As attendees arrived, Karis welcomed them, feeling a sense of purpose wash over him. The space filled with laughter and conversation as people settled into their creative pursuits. Karis floated between groups, offering encouragement and guidance where needed. In one corner, a group of children were collaborating on a giant paper mural, their giggles punctuating the air as they mixed paints and shared ideas. Karis felt a swell of pride, knowing that they were continuing to build on the foundation of connection established during the festival. The first art night was a resounding success. Laughter and creativity filled the community center, echoing off the walls like a vibrant symphony. Karis moved from group to group, soaking in the energy and inspiration that flowed through the space. It was a continuation of the festival's spirit, a celebration of community, creativity, and connection. In one corner, a group of teenagers worked diligently on a mural of their own, inspired by the large mural that adorned the center's main wall. Malik led them, his passion for art contagious. Karis approached, watching as they discussed color palettes and composition. "This is fantastic," Karis said, his eyes lighting up. "What's your theme?" "We wanted to show how we see our neighborhood changing," Malik replied. "It's about growth and the different cultures coming together." Karis smiled, feeling a sense of pride in Malik's leadership. "That's a beautiful message. I can't wait to see how it turns out." As the night wore on, Karis found a moment to catch his breath, leaning against a table covered in art supplies. He reflected on how far they had come since the mural project began. It wasn't just about painting anymore. It had evolved into a movement, a space where people felt safe to express themselves and connect with one another. Zara joined him, wiping her hands on a paint-splattered apron. This is incredible, Karis. I didn't think we'd get such a turnout. I know, Karis replied, his heart swelling with gratitude. It's amazing to see so many people engaged and having fun. I think we've tapped into something special here. Just then, Alara approached, a colorful canvas in her hands. I've been working on a piece that reflects the stories I heard during the festival. I want to incorporate elements from everyone's contributions. Let me see, Karis exclaimed, eager to see her vision come to life. Alara displayed the canvas, revealing a swirling blend of colors with symbols and words interwoven. I'm calling it Voices of Our Community. It's about how we all come together, our different backgrounds merging into something beautiful. Karis was awestruck. This is stunning, Alara. It captures the essence of what we're building here. We should hang it up for everyone to see. As the night unfolded, attendees moved freely between art stations, experimenting with different mediums and collaborating with one another. A sense of community thrived, friendships blossomed, and new connections were forged. Karis marveled at the creative energy that enveloped the room. Hours later, as the event wound down, Karis gathered everyone together for a final reflection. I just want to thank each of you for being here tonight and for contributing to this space. Your creativity and stories make this community stronger. Let's continue to uplift each other and keep this momentum going. The crowd erupted in applause, smiles and cheers echoing throughout the room. Karis felt a sense of belonging that had been absent for too long. This was not just an art night. It was a gathering of souls, a collective expression of their hopes, fears, and dreams. As participants began to leave, Karis noticed Aaron lingering by the mural. He approached, curious to hear what the young artist thought about the night. Hey, Aaron, how did you enjoy art night? Karis asked, leaning against the wall. It was awesome, Aaron replied, his eyes bright. I loved working on my piece. It felt good to share ideas with others. I've never done anything like this before. Karis smiled, feeling a sense of pride in Aaron's growth. I'm so glad to hear that. You're becoming a vital part of this community. Aaron nodded, a grin spreading across his face. I want to keep painting. This is just the beginning for me. As Karis and Aaron talked, a group of kids approached, their hands covered in paint and faces beaming with joy. Can we help with the mural next time? One of them asked, excitement radiating from their small frames. Absolutely, Karis replied. We would love your help. The mural is a space for everyone to express themselves, and we can always use more creativity. The kids cheered, and Karis felt a surge of hope. They were fostering a new generation of artists, nurtured by the very spirit of community they had created. In the weeks that followed, the art nights continued to flourish, each one more vibrant than the last. The community center became a hub of creativity and connection, a place where individuals could gather to share, learn, and grow together. Karis found himself increasingly inspired by the diverse talents within their community. One evening, as Karis prepared for another art night, he received a phone call from Elder Nico. The elder had been following their progress closely and wanted to discuss an idea that had been weighing on his heart. Hello, Karis, Elder Nico began, his voice warm and familiar. I hope this message finds you well. I've been hearing wonderful things about the art nights and the impact they're having. I wanted to propose a collaboration that I believe could strengthen our community even further. Thank you, Elder Nico. I'd love to hear your ideas, Karis replied, his curiosity piqued. I've been thinking about the intergenerational connections in our community. It's vital that we create spaces where wisdom and creativity can flow freely between the young and the old. I would like to organize a storytelling and art night that brings together different generations, allowing them to share their stories and learn from one another. Karis felt a spark of excitement. That sounds incredible. We could set up art stations where participants can illustrate their stories or create pieces inspired by what they hear. Exactly, Elder Nico agreed. Art has a unique way of bridging gaps and fostering understanding. I believe this event could help build deeper connections within our community. They discussed the details, eager to bring the vision to life. Karis could already envision the powerful conversations that would unfold, a blending of stories, art, and wisdom, creating a richer tapestry of understanding. As the event date approached, Karis and Elder Nico worked tirelessly to spread the word. Flyers were distributed, local elders were invited, and the community buzzed with anticipation. On the night of the event, Karis arrived early to set up the space. The community center buzzed with energy as tables filled with art supplies awaited eager participants. He could already see a mix of young faces and older ones, chatting excitedly as they arrived. Elder Nico greeted attendees, welcoming everyone with open arms. "Thank you for being here tonight. This is a special evening for us to connect and share our stories through art." Karis felt a sense of warmth wash over him as he looked around the room. The air was filled with the rich aroma of coffee and baked goods, and laughter mingled with the soft strains of music playing in the background. As the event began, Karis introduced the format. "We will break into small groups, where each generation can share stories and experiences. Afterward, we'll move to the art stations, where you can illustrate what you've learned or express your thoughts creatively." Elder Nico led the first storytelling session, his voice rich with experience as he shared tales from his youth, weaving in lessons about resilience and community. The younger attendees listened intently, captivated by the wisdom that flowed from his words. When it was time for the art stations, Karis wandered among the groups, witnessing the incredible dialogue that unfolded. The elders shared their stories, and the younger participants responded with art that captured the essence of what they had learned. In one corner, a young girl named Sophia was painting a scene that depicted an elder sharing stories with children under a large, blooming tree. "This tree represents our community," she explained to Karis as he watched her paint. "It's strong and has deep roots, just like the connections we share." Karis smiled, touched by her insight. "That's a beautiful metaphor, Sophia. Your art truly reflects the spirit of our gathering tonight." As the night progressed, Karis felt a profound sense of connection building within the room. The sharing of stories and art bridged the generational gap, creating a space for understanding and empathy. Laughter and reflection danced through the air, reminding everyone of their shared humanity. At the end of the evening, Karis gathered everyone for a final reflection. "Thank you all for your stories, your art, and your openness tonight. This gathering has reminded us that art is a powerful tool for connection. Let's continue to share our stories and support one another as we grow together as a community." The crowd erupted in applause, the energy in the room palpable. Karis felt a sense of accomplishment, knowing that they had fostered a unique and meaningful experience for everyone involved. As the attendees began to leave, Karis noticed Elder Nico lingering at the mural. He approached the elder, who was admiring the vibrant colors and stories captured on the wall. "Elder Nico, thank you for your guidance tonight. Your storytelling has left a lasting impact on all of us," Karis said sincerely. Elder Nico smiled, his eyes twinkling. "It is you, Karis, who has sparked this fire within our community. You've created a space where creativity and connection flourish. Remember, the seeds you've planted will continue to grow, nourishing the souls of many." Karis felt a swell of gratitude at the elder's words. "Thank you for believing in this vision. I couldn't have done it." As the seasons changed, the community arts nights became a cornerstone of Karis's neighborhood. What began as a humble initiative had blossomed into a thriving collective of creativity and connection, bringing together people of all ages and backgrounds. Karis watched with pride as more individuals stepped into their artistic expression, transforming the once quiet community center into a vibrant hub of activity. With each gathering, stories flowed like the colors on the canvas. Elders shared tales of resilience, laughter, and lessons learned through the trials of life. Children painted their dreams, their imaginations unfurling like the petals of a blooming flower. Teenagers wrote poetry that spoke to their struggles and aspirations, while adults found solace in crafting and creating, exploring new avenues of expression they had long neglected. But with success came new challenges. As word of the art nights spread beyond their neighborhood, Karis and his friends found themselves grappling with the logistics of managing an ever-growing audience. They faced the question of how to keep the spirit of intimacy and connection alive while accommodating more participants. One afternoon, as Karis sat in a cafe with Zara and Alara, they discussed their next steps over steaming cups of coffee. The atmosphere was charged with ideas, a reflection of the energy that had become a hallmark of their gatherings. "We need to find a way to keep the connection personal," Zara said, stirring her drink thoughtfully. "As much as I love seeing more people come, I worry that we'll lose the intimacy we've cultivated." "I agree," Alara chimed in. "What if we created smaller, themed workshops in addition to the larger art nights? That way, people can delve deeper into specific topics and still feel connected to one another." Karis nodded, envisioning the possibilities. "That's a great idea. We could host workshops on storytelling, painting, music, and even collaborative mural projects. It would allow for more focused interactions while still embracing our community spirit." As they brainstormed, a new vision began to take shape. They decided to host monthly themed workshops alongside their regular art nights, each focusing on a different aspect of creative expression. This way, attendees could dive deeper into their passions while still participating in the larger gatherings. As the first themed workshop approached, excitement buzzed in the air. Karis felt a renewed sense of purpose. He and his friends reached out to local artists and educators, inviting them to lead sessions and share their expertise. On the day of the first workshop, the community center was abuzz with energy. Participants arrived eager to learn and create, their faces reflecting the enthusiasm of a new beginning. Karis welcomed everyone, his heart swelling with pride as he looked around the room. "Today, we're diving into the art of storytelling," Karis announced, gesturing toward a table laden with art supplies, journals, and colorful markers. "We'll explore how our stories shape our identities and how we can express them through art." As the workshop unfolded, Karis led participants through exercises that encouraged them to reflect on their personal experiences. They shared their stories in small groups, weaving a tapestry of voices and perspectives. The energy in the room was electric, and Karis felt the magic of connection enveloping them all. One participant, a woman named Leela, shared a story about her grandmother, who had been an artist in her youth. As she spoke, her eyes sparkled with nostalgia, and Karis could see the emotions in her voice. "She always said that art was a way to remember and honor those we love. I've always wanted to capture her spirit in my own work." Inspired, the participants began to create visual representations of their stories. Leela sketched a portrait of her grandmother, adorned with flowers that symbolized the love and memories they shared. Karis moved around the room, offering encouragement and guidance, his heart swelling with pride. At the end of the workshop, Karis gathered everyone to share their creations. Leela's portrait was met with applause, and other participants presented their own pieces, each telling a story that resonated deeply. As they shared, Karis felt the bonds between them strengthening, weaving a rich tapestry of experiences and emotions. Over the following months, the themed workshops flourished. Each session became an opportunity for participants to connect, learn, and grow together. Karis and his friends discovered that while the community had expanded, the essence of intimacy and connection remained intact. The smaller gatherings allowed for deeper exploration, nurturing the unique talents within their community. As spring approached, Karis began to envision a larger event, one that would showcase the artwork created during the workshops. He gathered Zara, Alara, and Brulak to discuss the idea, their faces lighting up with excitement. "What if we organized a community art show?" Karis proposed. "It could feature the pieces created during our workshops and celebrate the stories behind them." Zara clapped her hands together. "That's brilliant. We could invite everyone from the community to come and see the work. It would be a beautiful way to honor our collective creativity." Alada added, "And we could include a storytelling session, where participants can share the meaning behind their pieces. It would add depth to the exhibition." Brulak nodded enthusiastically. "Let's do it. We can set up the community center for the show and invite local businesses to support us with refreshments and promotion." With renewed energy, they set to work organizing the event. Flyers were designed, local businesses were contacted, and excitement began to ripple through the community as word spread about the upcoming art show. On the day of the exhibition, Karis arrived early to set up the space. The community center was transformed, with art pieces displayed on easels and colorful banners draping the walls. He took a moment to breathe it all in, feeling a sense of fulfillment wash over him. As attendees began to trickle in, Karis welcomed them with open arms. Families, friends, and neighbors gathered, mingling and exploring the artwork. Each piece reflected a unique story, an expression of the individual's journey and experiences. As the evening progressed, Karis stood at the front of the room, preparing to introduce the storytelling portion of the event. He felt a rush of anticipation as he looked out at the sea of faces, some familiar, some new. Each person represented a thread in the intricate tapestry of their community. "Thank you all for being here tonight to celebrate our creativity and the stories that bind us together," Karis began, his voice resonating with emotion. "This exhibition is a testament to the power of art and connection. We invite you to hear the stories behind these pieces, to understand the heart and soul that went into creating them." One by one, participants stepped forward to share their stories. Leela spoke about her grandmother, her voice trembling with emotion. A teenager named Sam shared his journey of self-discovery through poetry, while an elder recounted tales of resilience and hope from their youth. Karis watched as the audience listened intently, their expressions shifting from laughter to tears and back again. The vulnerability and strength displayed by each storyteller created an atmosphere of understanding and connection, reinforcing the importance of community. As the evening drew to a close, Karis felt a profound sense of gratitude. They had woven a rich tapestry of experiences, stories, and creativity that would continue to resonate within their community for years to come. The art show was not merely a celebration of individual talent. It was a collective affirmation of their shared humanity. In the following weeks, the momentum continued to build. The community arts nights and workshops flourished, and Karis found himself more inspired than ever. But he also felt the weight of responsibility. How could he ensure that this creativity and connection remained alive, not just in their neighborhood, but in the wider world? He began to explore ideas for collaborations beyond the community center, seeking to connect with nearby schools, art organizations, and local artists. Karis envisioned a project that would allow their creativity to reach even more people, creating ripples of connection throughout the region. One day, as he walked through a nearby park, Karis stumbled upon a group of students sketching by the pond. Intrigued, he approached them, introducing himself and expressing his admiration for their work. They welcomed him enthusiastically, sharing their passion for art and storytelling. An idea sparked in Karis's mind. What if we hosted a regional art festival, inviting schools and artists from all over to come together for a day of creativity, connection, and collaboration? He suggested. The students exchanged excited glances, their enthusiasm contagious. "That would be amazing. We could showcase art from different schools and even include performances," one of them exclaimed. Karis felt a rush of excitement at the prospect. He quickly reached out to his friends, sharing the idea and seeking their input. Zara, Ilara, and Brulak were immediately on board, eager to expand their vision beyond the community center. As they began planning the regional art festival, Karis felt a sense of purpose that propelled him forward. They secured a date, reached out to local artists and schools, and began organizing workshops, performances, and art displays. The weeks flew by as they worked tirelessly to bring the festival to life. The anticipation within the community grew as word spread about the upcoming event. People were eager to showcase their work, share their stories, and connect with others. On the day of the festival, Karis arrived early, taking a moment to absorb the vibrant atmosphere around him. The park was alive with color art displays, music, and laughter filled the air. Families and friends gathered, excited to celebrate creativity in all its forms. Karis and his friends welcomed attendees, guiding them through the various activities and art stations. Workshops on painting, storytelling, and collaborative art projects flourished,